And you still get that self-magic resistance, which means that if the planar pocket is never popped, you still gain magic resistance for the duration of the planar pocket buff if it never gets popped, right? So against AoE abilities, it's good for increased magic resistance.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much still the same as it used to be before. Slight adjustments here and there.
Kind of interesting, if you see the Tundra's items, you see that the Largo has the smoke. So he ended up buying the smoke on Largo because the IO's build, he couldn't really buy smoke, and the Bara, he also can't really buy smoke because he needs boots plus Tango. So the Largo ended up buying the smoke. And it's one of those things where you don't really see that often because most of the teams, they kind of just do the standard where the support just buys the smoke, but Tundra, one of those nerdy teams, right? They count their gold until the last dime, and they do everything they can really to extract max value from their items.
They're min-maxing. They're definitely min-maxing as Tundra. They always have. That's a fair point. Chat, don't get too excited. 33 support is not confirmed. Whisper gonna get poked back from the bounty rune as we get this game started and underway. Split 2 for 2. And now let's see how VTune sits in Tundra. Ever since I've covered VTune games, he's always played in a lineup of 4 Protect 1. It's always been about VTune taking over the late game. He has amazing farming patterns. He always stays away from harm's way. If needed to, he'll rotate with a hero at 13 to 15 minutes just to ensure he gets a kill. So you'd think about, how does Anti-Mage play the game? He's never there until the fight's over. As a PA, he might do something quite similar, that he only shows up to throw a dagger, get the quick Phantom Strike, sorry, and just go out back to farming right after. That's VTune Dota for you.
I would say he's probably just gonna play standard. I don't think this 4 Protect 1 thing is really a thing in Dota anymore. It's kind of more just a team game in general, right? Most of the teams that at least win tournaments or do really well, it's mostly a lot of just team play nowadays. No more of the 4 versus 1 thing. So I expect him just to play the standard Dota that we see a lot. Maybe he has some innovative, like some new build that he can do. He can show us why he creates a lot of things in Dota, as you said. Ooh, and a little go on the Hoodwink, getting low.
Good attempt on Fiolacorn. There's the jump from VTune going in for the dive, and the dagger should do it. And there's enough stick charges to get some regen out, but Whisper still gets the trade going. Maybe a second. Another spike available. Yep, he should have this one. There we go. Whisper for the double kill. So you might have gotten first blood on VTune, but you instantly pay the price.
And Whisper is very happy with that trade. They lose a lot of creeps on Tundra. Definitely not worth it for them. Even though it was a first blood, now Bristle gets to finish his Null Talisman and his Bracer, and he has lane control.
Yeah, 2 solo kills. Like, his support's dead first, and he kills them alone. So all the experience going into Whisper's pocket. The Olacor's still level 1.
I got a little bit too excited there on the PA, and it comes back to the Fairy Fire, right? A lot of people realize that Fairy Fire is a really good item, and Hoodwink only survived that extra hit because he had a Fairy Fire.
Yeah, the abbreviation for Fairy Fire isn't actually fast finish. It could feel like it sometimes when you're going for that deep dive. Battling down at the bottom. Ari gonna get slowed up by the grenade. 33 giving it a bit of a lick. Save his buddy.
Always really value to lick off the debuffs on your allies because you get the extra regen on Largo, but this lane's starting out really hard for Tundra. The Largo, he's definitely struggling a lot. They end up getting the pull here on the wave with the Bara, but very low resources on Dire. I expect the Bara to at some point leave this lane when he sees an opening on either mid or top. Probably top, where they have a lot of slows from the PA to be able to get a kill.
Yeah, they have been trying to get this creep wave pull multiple times now by Ari, but it always sets them in danger of a potential jump because the enchant slow with 30% should be enough for Yuma to get in avalanche range to start poking and dishing out some pretty heavy damage. They're not exactly super tanky on Largo and Spirit Breaker early on. They've got good armor and nice base HP to complement, but the Olacor's in trouble in the top lane. might still go down. There we go. V2 with the jump in. Secures it. The Whisper's got so many resources. You mentioned that magic wand, the effectiveness of it versus this PEA, and he's going for the dive. He's going to get this one. Now he's blocked by the creep wave. Goes down the right trees with the tango and dies for Whitemon. Another double kill for Whisper. Yes, sir. That's 4 kills for Mr. Bristle.
And this lane kind of, another kill on mid. Lane kind of backfiring for Tundra, right? They kind of had the counter pick to the Bristol, and they picked the PA into the Bristol, but how much of it comes back to the level 1, right? If he didn't dive there on PA, the lane would probably be in a really good state right now. But the small things, they add up in Dota, especially on the first couple waves. A lot of pros, if you actually ask them, they will say that most of the lanes, they are decided in the first couple waves.
They almost went for BZM right away as he TP'd, hoping to get a back-to-back kill on the mid laner off of Tundra. But they'll get the response on Theolicor, down to 100 HP. Nice bash from Ahri. And the secured kill for Whitemon. Does get the bushwhack off, and Tylung is dangerously low. Has a couple stick charges to work with, but as mentioned, the supports stick around. The IO goes for the double kill. 2, 2, and 2 for Whitemon.
Yeah, a lot of return kills coming, and of course, when these sort of things happen, it's always good for the team that's losing, because they're just trading a bunch of kills, right? So you're getting more XP and more gold from being at a disadvantage. So good comeback for Tundra, especially for the Beastmaster. Gets a push in the wave.
Largo might be in trouble too. They get 33. Yes, they can. Yuma setting up another tree right after the previous tree throw. Get his first kill. Whitemon
interesting
and Ahri
items
invading.
Interesting items on the Largo. He has a Void Stone in his inventory. He had a Perseverance queued up. So I wonder if he's going to make that into an item, or if he's just buying it to just have it in his inventory.
It's good regen, sure, to have a Void Stone. I was already thinking, like, is 33 having that bad of a lane that he needs to go jungle and resort to mono region because of that given reason? But we'll find out in the next few minutes. His farm's not bad. Even if he's the last, but 23 last hits at 6 minutes, it could be worse.
And for the lane he had, it's like, okay. It's the double melee lane versus the ancient melee hero that kind of win the lane against you. So kind of expected outcome for them in this lane. They definitely didn't go into the lane thinking they were going to win this lane. So maybe you would have been a little bit more happy if already had a Perseverance. But I like it. I like it. I haven't really seen a Largo buy a Void Stone in lane. Usually they just do the standard Soul Ring into boots into Ags. Maybe he buys different items on Largo since they changed kind of like how the ult works, since the Q just gives flat damage now. I doubt it though. I feel like he's just gonna buy Ags. It's way too good.
It's really good, but it is also 33. You know, could be cooking something new. The inventor. No Spirit Breaker charge coming down bottom. They could maybe lock in for Yuma, but they do see him in the wave. There's a melee creep in between, actually enchanted by the Enchantress. So they'll see if Ahri starts charging. All spells used by 33. Yuma down to 500. Has a double healing Lotus. He'll be happy to get a upgraded Lotus at the 9-minute mark, since he's already picked up the 2. Let's see what happens as the game unpauses. He'll let Yuma go. No charge. Ahri did back away. He's trying to ask for vision. Yeah, he's charging now. They're bringing in numbers for that Tiny. They want to look for a kill. Yuma?
I was here.
Let's see if he can make it happen. Avalanche is already spent. Ahri's going to get a free connection. The damage is close. It's going to be enough. 33 gets it.
Right. Kind of a pause moment there, you know. Maybe Tiny, he kind of forgot what the game state was, and then he got charged. A little bit unlucky, but it happens. Yeah. Kind of a what can you do situation right there. And Largo, pretty big win for him. He's going to be able to pull this wave, and he's just... The Ents just kind of left this lane, so the Largo just giga free farming. And all right, we see the Largo, he has a Phylactery in this quick buy. So he's probably thinking about the long run. He's thinking about when he gets the Conda, he'll just break this Bristleback with his Q. And so he's going to do the Perseverance early to have sustain, which is smart. I like it.
You gotta have big brains. You're a Dota pro after all. Whisper also finished off the T1 tower in the top lane at sub 7 minutes. He's already got an Axe queued up.
Yeah, he's going to be super snowballing from those kills he got in the early stages. And Tundra, they don't really have the best heroes to really deal with this Bristol, right? The PA doesn't really do damage to Bristol early. Later, of course, when she gets Ags and all those items, then yeah. But early game, they don't really have like any heroes that really kill Bristle, right? It's only the Beastmaster with his ult, if he can actually catch the Bristle by himself. Nobody's buying Vessel. Nobody really does any magic damage, if you think about it. Like IO balls, sure, but not really that much damage. So Tundra, they're probably just gonna play a farming game. And that's gonna leave it open for Bristle to also just farm his items as freely as he wishes. And he's going for the Axe, which is another pretty uncommon build, I would say.
Yep.
It used to be super meta, but it got a little nerfed.
That was kind of like when we had the Bloodstone Bristle back, right?
Yeah.
Worked a bit different. Toon is being pressured. This is illegal. I'm just going to point it out. It's 8 minutes into the game. You're diving a tier 2 tower. Only a Broodmother from a mid lane is allowed to do that. Maybe a Bristleback in this case, but you can't let that happen. That's highly illegal.
Have you seen the Hoodwink blocking the PA's camps in the top lane? He just has 2 sentries on both camps in the corner. So even if PA farms this spawn, all his camps are going to be blocked. So kind of a disaster start for PA.
Smart.
Lost his tower, 2 deaths, and he's not really getting the lane creeps. So like, it's so bad for him.
Might see a fight in top. Ahri doesn't actually get any backup with that charge. I was thinking they might go for the level 4 supports, bring in an extra hero down into top. Nothing really happened in the end. But yeah, that is a good point to highlight. Those sentries blocking those camps, really understanding what hurts VTune the most is his jungle farm potential. You don't really see VTune a lot in lane.
A really good start for the game for Heroic. They already have both towers, mid and top. They have a super free farm Bristol. Yeah, and Tundra, they really don't have any choice but to really just farm creeps. And they're no stranger to this gameplay, right? They'll keep farming and keep scaling into the game. They're a team that deals very well with pressure. They kind of just keep scaling and do their own thing. So let's see how much they can do in this game.
Gonna be a big kill because getting that Beastmaster, delaying his Ags timing. Tundra will not have their tools up. That's another timing getting pushed back once again. So good move from Heroic, really applying the pressure. This is kind of old school SA, kind of looking to have a constant bloodbath going on, but they've fully taken over the map. You know, a level 6 Enchantress, I'm used to seeing her at like 9 minutes pressuring a tier 2 tower, but now the whole lineup of Heroic is doing exactly the same. It's just Yuma farming those camps safely because he still has a T1 tower down in the bot lane.
Yeah, Heroic played this early game really well. They came mid when they had a siege to pressure.
Oh no, BZM back-to-back deaths incoming. Oh, what happened to TP on Viper? Oh, Tylon canceled it himself. He's actually not going to join in. As the Oliker dies, Whispers on the run. The whole Tundra team is here. The Roar does connect on Bristleback. That's going to be a big kill. The tanky one for sure. He's making them pay the price, but is he gonna get any kills out of it? He got Ahri. He's still surviving, but King Jungle slightly late for this one. VTune, he's low on HP. BZM and 33 giving the protection for the PA. Tylon finally here, gets the poison to connect onto the Beastmaster, and without the Roar, he won't be able to keep him back. They'll have to decide to stay out of the way. So Whisper's giving the tip for Tylon because that might have been an unintentional TP cancel from the Viper.
Yeah, and Tundra bringing multiple heroes to try to respond to this aggressiveness. They end up TPing the Largo, which kind of hurts his net worth. They end up not dying on any cores, so not the end of the world for them, but they do spend a lot there to try to respond to Heroic's aggression.
PZM needs 2 more pieces to finish the Ags on the Beastmaster. He needs to get to that ASAP.
Bristol gonna get his Ags soon, and then let's see how they're gonna play the map. Will they just play top area? Will they bring heroes bottom to be able to take this tier 1 tower and open the ancient area so they can contest the enemy ancients? Viper also going. So a lot of Ags, right? Viper Ags, Beast Ags, Bristleback Ags. They're all just buying Ags.
KJ is being targeted here with a roar, and the charge is coming through. They don't even need the charge. Ari just for the quick drive-by, pick up the shared XP.
You're playing a little bit too aggressive. It's a classic Ench death, right? You're playing in the enemy's face, and if they don't respond, you kind of just be there annoyingly. But sometimes the enemy responds with multiple heroes, and then you just kind of end up dying. But I like it. It's aggressive from KJ, contesting enemy camps, right? Taking the creeps, not letting them just free farm.
Yeah, I think from for KJ's perspective, maybe he's allowed that one death on the Enchantress. If that happens again, then we can start thinking like, okay, was it smart to stick around that deep? But that was his first death. We can allow that.
Yeah, considering also that the Viper with Boots of Travel can always TP to the Ench creep, so probably playing on that fact as well, that you want to contest enemy areas with the creep, and the Viper can always connect while the Viper farms your side of the map. And there he is. It's the classic Ench gameplay. He spawns, and he runs back to that camp, and he starts taking those creeps.
Same place. Also, kind of weird. This is a statistic that doesn't actually happen quite often. So we're at 13 minutes. Everyone has died at least once, and the cores have more deaths than the supports. EZM has 2, V-Tune has 2. Okay, Theolikar still has the most deaths in the game, but not too often do you see a stat line like this in an 8-8 game.
Yeah, it shows that some unconventional things happen in the game. You know, some things that shouldn't have happened. Probably starting with the deaths on the top lane. That kind of bled into them losing a lot of the towers early. So that kind of just makes the cores have to move around earlier in the game. They can't just be static while you're getting super destroyed in the other lanes.
Well, we might get a 4-man fight in bottom. Let's see. 33 wants to pressure the tower. He wants to draw Yuma's attention, and he's got the backup now. So let's see if they can connect onto this one. The charge from Ari is going to be there. Are Heroic bringing anybody to save him? No, they're not. They'll just leave Yuma for dead and lose the bottom tier 1 tower for Tundra.
It kind of surprising. It seems like there's a little bit of miscommunication, right? Yuma just showing in the lane, and if nobody TPs, then it's just kind of suicide, right? You're just walking there to die. But definitely feeling a little bit of hesitation for Heroic in this point. They already taken top towers. They could have easily defended this tower bottom if they really wanted to. They want to rotate a bunch of heroes. But it looks like they don't really want to. They want to continue controlling the top part of the map, so maybe Yuma had a different idea there. He was expecting his team to back him up, but they didn't. So, costly mistake for Heroic, I would say. That they had this game kind of in a really good spot, and now it's not that good anymore, right? PA coming back with the Battle Fury, and just like that Tundra, they end up hitting their timings, right? They just keep farming, and they keep scaling into the game, even though the game can look at it's a really bad spot. They're just really good at doing that.
Yeah, they on the Heroic side, they absolutely lost their momentum now. So BZM is 100 gold short from Ags. Beastmaster's getting to his timings. The boots are finally finished on all Tundra heroes with some pretty late phase boots on Largo and Spirit Breaker. And PA with the Battle Fury. So V-Tune is in full online farming mode. Not necessarily online in terms of the threat potential on the map, but he'll be able to ramp up his farm. Whisper and Theolikar are going for a bit of a wrap-around smoke. They'll run into the IO. Should be able to nuke him down. There we go. Easy kill for Whisper.
Heroic knowing that the game is not going the way they want it to, so they press the smoke and take the gate. Nice little move for them, but didn't get the ideal target, right? They wanted to get the Largo there. And Tundra also very good at where they position their heroes on the map, right? If you look at their map, there's one hero in one corner, another hero in another corner, another hero farming a creep wave, right? They're all spread out farming.
Those deep wards did show V-Tune farming in top, so I would be wondering if Heroic is willing to go for the chase. Thailand wants to go Roche. He just straight up started it with the Ags. Yeah, nose dived into the pit. Okay, sure. Early Ags. Aegis, I mean.
Yeah, all the minus armor effects are very effective against Roshan, so Bristleback is a very good hero to kill the Rosh. Especially when he has a really good game. You can easily just go in with... He also has bought the shard.
Oh, they found that V-Tune kill. That was a Yuma solo.
Yeah. It's the tiny Shadow Blade.
And they get the Aegis, so 2 birds on 1 stone. Not sure if that's the right saying. I'm Finnish after all. I might get these ones wrong from time to time.
Ooh, he knows that the Largo's bottom. Just in time he TP's out on Largo. Alright, nice game. I mean, he had a ward. He saw the tiny coming. So, nice by 3-3. So now with Aegis, I'm assuming they will want to control the Torm in 2 minutes. So they have 2 minutes to be able to do whatever they want. So they will go for the mid tower with the Bristol. And they'll probably just play with the Bristle and the Ench together, having the Viper be able to connect with Travels, and have the tiny Hoodwink start hunting on the map. Because the tiny Shadow Blade, they can probably kill almost any target. And especially when he has Silver Edge, even the PA can just insta-die to the Tiny. It's actually a decent matchup for Tiny, since he gets bonus armor from his ult, and he's a natural Silver Edge buyer. It's actually pretty decent versus PA.
Yep. Yeah, that works. A lot of breaks coming into this game. You kind of highlighted the Conda, which is now finished on the Largo, and then that Silver Edge. Just they're fighting in mids. They got the tier 2 tower out of the way. KJ will fall. And
there's a big timing for Tundra. He has the Conda now, so what that means is that Bristol can die. And honestly, if this Largo had an Axe, this game would probably be kind of over. I think Heroic would just easily win this game, but since he has a Conda, he actually can threaten the Bristol and the Viper and the Ench. It's such a value Conda game.
Yeah, it really helps their team deal more and more damage, having access to that. You have an IO lineup after all, so IO amplifies somebody's damage, and Largo enables you to do that given damage.
Yeah, and speaking about Ags, the IO is also going for Ags, which is a very common theme in this patch. There's a lot of IO being played, especially in the high-ranked games, in the pub matches, and usually the IOs, they just buy 1 or 2 items. They buy like a mech and a soul ring, and then they just go for the Ags, and they end up scaling like a core. And that's what Whitemon wants to do, right? He knows that the Bara doesn't really farm, so he's doing the farming for his Bara.
Smoke connects onto Whitemon. He doesn't have the mana for a relocate, so as low as he was farming those camps, he'll have to forfeit his life. Now we're at the 20-minute mark, so they could make the move towards the Tormentor that you were highlighting. That's something that Heroic wants to play towards. They might just stick with the aggression. Ari gets nuked by Yuma. Doesn't really stand much of a chance. They also see that there's an amplified damage rune in the river, so that'll be very good for Yuma to pick up.
Oh, nice pick off from Yuma. And you see Tundra, like the Beastmaster is not really interested in fighting. He's just in the corner farming camps. The IO also died in the corner farming camps. So you can see that their game plan is to just keep farming and scaling the game. And when they get a good opportunity, like with the Beastmaster will get a roar with some reload, they're going to force some TPs, get some corner fight, and then just keep on getting map from these small little rotations, small little events where they force the enemy to use their TPs in a bad way. That's kind of like the whole way Tundra plays, is they just play map, and they just chill.
Oh, they run into Whisper, perfect target as well, but E2's already spotted. Whisper does give the heads up, and there we go. The break is there, but the Lotus Orb comes out right after. So reflecting all those abilities, and the roar can't be used, and here comes the return from Heroic. They're going to bring in the numbers for the response, and Tundra are trying to run away. Break on the Beastmaster by the Hoodwink. Ari getting slowed up by the Enchant and the Viscous Nasal Goo. Nicely holding their ground. Tundra aren't fully backing away. There is no Yuma. I think they only make that play because they spotted the Tiny was in the top lane.
Yeah, it was also the Wisdom Rune timing, so they were smoking to maybe get the Wisdom. But this was so farmed, actually. He just has 1,500 net worth at 21 minutes.
That's pretty
Lotus
sick.
Ags at 21 minutes and 3.5k gold. I wonder what he's going to think now, knowing that there was a break in the game. What is his next item choice?
Could you technically Manta Bristle?
The break is undispellable, so that's what makes it more interesting.
So maybe Sanj and Yasha would then be better with the status resistance.
Yeah, he has that queued, but he also has a Yule's queued. So maybe he wants to Yule himself when he gets broken. and may also be an option. Or he can also have a Yules for the Bara, right? He can just dispel the Bara. Very useful item versus Bara. He hasn't made up his mind yet. 4,000 gold, still thinking. Easy Tormentor, again. Heroes that have physical reduction, physical armor reduction are very good against Torm and Roche. So Bristol easily takes the Torm there with 3 heroes and a DD.
Talking about minus armor, also spotted. VTune has queued up a Desolator as well on the PA. Let's see if he ever gets to finish it in this game. Heroic is still 8,000 gold ahead, but the smoke is coming in from Tundra. They spot KJ first, instantly nuke down the Enchantress. Heroic, no, the roar is down. They're going to respond. Yuma coming in to slap Ari. The toss right on top of 33, and Largo is out for the count. That's 2 for 1 traded. And VTune, Whitemon, BZM, they're trying to make their way out. There was a Dark Troll Summoner blocking their exit for a moment. But they get themselves out of harm's way. They do end up losing too. Does Heroic... What do they want to do now? There's no Roche, there's no Torm.
Don't be mad.
Yeah, they probably just want to keep following Tundra around the map and not let them farm. So they also know that there's no Roar right now, so they just kind of want to take their camps and oppress them on the map. Make them feel like every camp they try to farm can be contested and they can probably die on these camps. So you see right now, Beastmaster, he can only farm this medium camp, right? Then he has to walk back to the corner of the map. So Heroic definitely playing the map really well in this point. And will this Bara die? Yep. Ooh, that was close.
Still
Quick fingers on Io.
Whisper was very cautious about rolling there. There was still an active reload from Whitemon. But yeah, it does feel like the South American Astini style of Dota. We choke them until they make a mistake when they leave the base. I'm sure if Tundra makes a lot of mistakes, but this game might tell us if they do.
I mean, if there's a team that's good at responding to that towards the gameplay, it's Tundra, right? They know
Absolutely.
that they need to go to the corner, farm their creeps, hit their timings, and not be in a rush to be able to play the game. You know, even though they're 11k down, they're probably one of the better teams at coming back from these sort of deficits. The game is looking hard, though, I would say. I think this game is very hard to come back from. I think the Bristol just has way too much net worth. But you never know. Maybe they get that 1 kill on him when he's isolated, and that can just turn the game around.
Yeah, one of the old Dota theories was that Bristleback's always going to kill somebody in the fight, so you ignore him and try to kill everybody else. Does that apply here at all?
Well, it kind of applies, but at the same time, you have a way to kill him, which is the break, right? That's why the Largo bought Conda, for them to have a way to be able to kill him, so they can't just ignore him, right? Because he's just going to kill everybody. So the way you don't ignore him is you have a way to be able to actually kill him. Because if you don't have the break, he will never die, right?
Yeah. Alright, well. Yuma groups up together with the rest of Heroic. They were smoking under their own observer, their cliff vision, basically. We're expecting if Tundra walks into them, they might take the engagement.
Big timing now for Tundra. BKB on Beast. They kind of need to win this next fight, or else the game is going to start getting out of control. It already is kind of out of control. Rune timing coming up.
It feels like you're holding on to a very slippery rope right now, but you're holding on to something. Yuma's trying to get into position. BCM comes another wave. Tundra doing a good job of at least cutting the creep waves, so they're not allowing Heroic to start knocking on those tier 3 towers. Trying to play the map safely.
A nice read there from Heroic. They kind of knew that Tundra was smoked on this wave mid. They played their side while Tundra also played their side, so usually that favors the team that is smoked. Because you're smoked, you can get the jump, but Heroic, they didn't give them the jump. So nice read from them.
It's good.
And
info.
Roche is up, so they're going to go Roche.
Yeah, Roche is there. Ari was drawing some lines on the map as he has warded this triangle, which Heroic actually don't know about. He's giving them a decent amount of information. Ari is fighting Fiola Core down the mid lane while Roche is being taken. Oh, here comes the relocate. Sure, okay. Etune one-shots him. Fresh Desolator. They still get the Roche.
Nice little pick off there for Tundra. off the wards that they placed when they were smoked, right? So I definitely want to see Heroic buy a gem and take away these wards that they have mid and top. Beast using his BKB TP.
They're trying to go for KJ here, and they will.
Okay.
Oh man, Heroic. That's 2 heroes already given away just like that. At least the first one, they were doing the Aegis, but this second one was a bit of a chase. They were backing, they were like semi-backing, not fully. Yuma though, he strikes like a thief in the night, takes down Whitemon, and they do get the target on him, but that Tiny is going to get protected as Ari doesn't have the backup for it. But yeah, that was dangerously close.
Yeah, a lot of little pickoffs going on. And you see the gem now on Hoodwink. He D-wards triangle. He might also get this ward mid. He doesn't really see it. He's going to go D-ward the other cliff now. And now Heroic, they want to keep doing what we were talking about earlier. They want to just keep oppressing Tundra on the map and try to force them to make a mistake and then capitalize on it and then try to go high ground with the banner.
And Yuma spotted.
Tiny getting charged. He's very alone.
There's no IO relocate, but they've got BZM, they've got Ari. Dust is used for the vision there. They're going to get the roar out, and that Aegis might be gone. Backup is arriving, but are they too late for it? Yuma just goes man mode. Here comes the relocate, bringing in at least 33. It looks like they brought the Largo instead of the PA. D-Tune was not around. Whitefawn and BZM should be heading straight back to base with that. There we go. All right, they got the Aegis out. They only trade Ari for it. That's pretty good for Tundra.
Good win for Tundra. And again, they're kind of just outmaneuvering Heroic on the map a little bit. All these small little trades we're getting.
CD2. Catch him though. BKB TP. That's a 9-second BKB charge.
Then no more Aegis now on Tiny, so they can't really go high ground on Heroic. Or can they? Never mind what I said. They're going high ground.
The shot on the Viper is going to help them to push quite a lot. Whisper just takes the front. Whitemon has to be careful of that Quill Spray. It's going to ramp up quite a lot of damage on a hero with not exactly that much armor. It's got 19, but that does drop pretty quickly.
They do have a banner to use on next wave if they want to.
Smacks goes in. Let's get the actually, it wasn't his Harpoon. Looks like it was just Largo licking the Tiny closer.
Right. They'll back off. Well, at least they got all of Tundra's heroes to come back to the base and defend. So that's a pretty big win for Heroic. And smart that they back off. They don't really need to commit to this high ground. They already won by having them all come back. Now they can just farm all the jungle camps and the waves and start posturing for the torments in 2 minutes.
Can I give your, or can you give me your tier list ranking for Tai Lung's Viper build? Shiva's Bloodstone Ags.
I mean, this guy, last patch, he was probably the best Viper. And I kind of like his build. I think the Shiva's combos well with the Nether Toxin, right? Because now Shiva's increases the area of effect of your spells. Mm-hmm. And the Bloodstone definitely makes sense as well. So now Bloodstone is another item that also got reworked and is made with Veil now. So it's basically a permanent Veil in an area around you, 1200. So I like his build. I think it makes a lot of sense. Banner placed mid on the siege wave, so sieges are not dying. Let's see how much they want to commit on Heroic for this push.
Who do they go for? Tundra decides to jump someone. They're out of the base. They find Yuma. They got the roar out onto the Tiny. Here comes also Whitemon to give the assistance. V2 going for the target. They only took down Tiny down to half HP, and V2 just melts as Tundra will lose their carry, and BCM is going to get forced all the way back. Whitemon's getting trashed by Whisper. And nobody dies from the South American squad. Instead, Tundra, 4 dead. GG. Game 1 in the bag. Just like that. It was a hard game to bounce back in, but that's how rapidly it finally ends. And, you know, any other team than Tundra might have taken the fight 10 minutes ago and the game would have been over. They were holding on to something.
Versus the Roar, they have Donald, and they also have Gyro to clear all the units. I personally don't have that much faith in Largo anymore as a hero. I think the hero is definitely over-nerfed, but...
more the player than the hero, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think 33 is a beast, and if he wins this game and he's buying the smoke again, as he did in last game, you know, he's just the guy that buys the smoke now on his team. Let's see. Hopefully he does something cool and teaches us something about the game. I always learn a lot when I watch him play.
Good part about innovators in Dota, we don't have a whole lot of them anymore in today's Dota. The game has been so well researched, and you know, it's existed for quite a long time now when you think about it. We are aging as the game does too, so people naturally only get better and better with every year. But there are the same names who people look up to in terms of creation, invention, new ideas.
Saw a little bit of a Dawnbreaker breaking the trees in the bottom lane. Comes back to that treant factor, right? Level 1, when you play against treant, you want to cut the waves in the treant's lane, so it makes it harder for the treant to gang up on you.
Deforestation.
So Dawnbreaker walked to the lane and uses her spell to break the trees. I'm not sure how much it's worth, since it costs 100 mana, so he's going to show up to the lane with a little bit of mana missing. Maybe it is enough to help the bottom lane.
Saw a Dominator queued up on the Darks here. If this was Tundra, I'd be like, they were the ones in last year's TI who made everybody follow the Dominator meta. Sometimes they built 3 Dominators. They had one on BZM Invoker. I remember that in like their first opening match, they have an Invoker with a Dominator. And that's it's Whisper who's got the only one. No, well, we won't be able to see it now because he just disconnected. Like there's a bit of a tech pause going on the side of Heroic, most likely. Now, what do you feel about the Dominator? Do you feel like it's obviously changed a lot during the course of this last year?
It's been very nerfed, right? It used to be mega broken, and now it's just an okay item. And I feel like that's a good place for Dominator to be. I think the recipe could be a little cheaper. But I think it's a very good item for Darkseer. I think it just makes his gameplay really nice. He can farm a lot with it. He can do a lot of different tricks with the Ion Shell, with the Surge. So I think if there's a hero that has a lot of value to buy Dominator, it's definitely Darkseer, since he has a lot of spells that can combine with the creep. And Whisper, he farms a lot. He's very effective at farming. So he's probably going to be farming a lot of stacks with his Dominator. He's going to be pushing waves with his Dominator. And I think if he can make good use of it, it's definitely still a very good item. It's not as overtuned as it was before in the past, right? Because before it was just broken. It was just ridiculous.
It was.
You just buy on every hero. Now it's more like you actually need to use the item well, which is how it kind of should be, right?
Yeah, that's how a lot of items should be in Dota. At least I hope that a lot of metas would be like the items that you're bringing into the game make sense because the game needs it, and not because I played 50 games of Enigma and I made Dominator in 49 of them. That's kind of like, that's just a core item on the hero. That's just a core item for any hero in the game because the item is so good. So, on that topic, do you see a lot of Krella's well, I don't even know how to pronounce this. Crozier?
Yeah.
Do you see that item a lot?
Surprisingly, yes. I actually think that item is very good, especially now since there aren't that many ways to reduce healing in the game. It's only really Vessel, Scotty, and the Krella's Crozier. And it's more like just an upgraded Ghost Scepter in a way. It's made for heroes that want to buy Ghost Scepter, but you don't want to have a Ghost Scepter in your inventory, so it's like another... It's kind of like the upgraded Blink.
Yeah.
Where you can buff your item that's just in your inventory, giving you no stats.
Yeah.
But it definitely is a very good item for the heroes that buy Ghost Scepter. I think even for Largo in this game, he might buy it.
To me, it feels like a Necro W with stats.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is technically
That's
what it
exactly.
is.
Exactly what it is.
But yet, don't see a whole lot of Necroboss. Still a bit too one-dimensional. Too many saves to save from that Reaper Scythe. But no Necro in this game, so no point in talking about that. It is game 2 between Tundra and Heroic. Heroic did take the lead in this series. This is the last best of 3 for the opening day on the B stream. You guys have been enjoying the games and the commentary. We'll be here for the next 4 days. complete the group stage, the Swiss stage to be more exact. Top lane, a bit of pummeling onto Ari, but you know, KJ still level 1 with just the Celestial Hammer, so no Starbreaker to follow.
Just already really low mana on Dawnbreaker since he spent all that mana in the bottom lane. Kind of hurting their lane a little bit. On Dawnbreaker support, at least you want to hit some timing in your lane. When you get level 2, try to get a kill. Because kind of the longer the lane goes without you getting a kill or something, the kind of worse it is for Dawn. It's one of those heroes that you want to brawl a lot and you want to even maybe die to come back full again so you get full mana. Because this hero has a lot of mana issues.
It feels a bit like the Primal Beast, where your max mana is like 300. Both of your active spells are going to take like 2/3. It's exactly the same for Dawnbreaker. 100 on Starbreaker, 100 on Celestial Hammer. You have 330. 3 Fairy Fires as well in KJ's inventory, so trying to pack up a bunch. It's the flavor, yeah.
The Fairy Fire on every hero, multiple of them. I like it. I think it's one of those items that it gives you a little bit of the, am I going to kill him? Am I not going to kill him? Is he going to turn it around? You know, I think that sort of stuff. It's cool. It brings some tense moments to the game. The turnarounds.
Does that mean we maybe need a mango buff in the near future?
Not really, right? Mango, it's kind of like, if you're low mana and you use a mango, it doesn't really change as much as I would say a Fairy Fire. I think mango's in an okay spot. I think maybe Clarity is a little bit too good. I mean, Clarity has to be good because it's so hard to get mana in this game sometimes.
Yeah. Maybe give like an extra 0.1 HP regen on the mango and start stacking them in your inventory.
Yeah.
It's going to be the replacement, but bit tough for Tai Lung to play this mid lane. BZM has just driven the Pango home. He's 17-11 to the 9-1, so we're going to have a walk of shame. TP back to the lane. Well, this is not okay. This is not the walk of shame. It could be worse. So he's still going to have the TP back to the lane, but BZM is celebrating. He's already won the lane at 3 minutes.
Yeah, he's crushing this lane, actually. He has more denies than Tai Lung has last hits, which is very uncharacteristic for Tai Lung. I feel like one of his strengths as a player was his laning phase. Is his laning phase, right? But in this game, getting very outplayed in this lane. I'm not sure how exactly this matchup goes. I'm not a mid player myself. But I didn't know it was this bad for the Pango. I feel like maybe he misplayed a little bit the first couple waves, and then he ended up being in this situation. But Beastmaster definitely should win this lane. This hero is just absurd too. It's just an absurd hero. All his spells cost way too little mana, and they do way too much damage.
Ari? Alright, they have to wait for the lick before the Starbreaker. I think that might just break the animation, so he never got to use his Q. But they got a heavy amount of damage on both Ari and 33 Guma, forcing him back with the flat cannon. There's the lick. A poke. Oh, he misses the Celestial Hammer. That's just wasted mana for the Dawnbreaker.
And a lot of the Dawnbreaker's network just being invested in regen, right? Just clarities, raindrop. It's what he has to do to be able to have impact in lane. You even see the little Rubik throwing a grenade on the Dawnbreaker just to cancel his clarity.
Tai Lung is in some pretty serious trouble. There's no roar, still for a half a level for BZM, but after this creep wave, or at least the next one with a +1 range creep, you have roar available. So I do wonder if BZM wants to just stock up on mana. He's got 7 magic 1 charges, and try to go for a solo kill play with the roar. He has that level advantage. He knows Pango doesn't have the Rolling Thunder to get away.
Yeah, maybe on this next wave when he gets level 6. Sieges are coming, so let's see if any support wants to rotate mid to be able to do some extra damage on a tower if they get a kill or something.
Would have to be the Tusk to TP in, because KJ doesn't have the resources to teleport and actually be able to cast a spell. He doesn't have the mana for it.
Yeah, the Tusk definitely wants to rotate. He kind of wants to go for the rune and see what happens there. Since the Darkseer, he's doing fine. They pulled on bottom lane, will eventually push into the Darkseer. Kind of frees up the Tusk to be able to rotate. And he has boots on Tusk, so he's very fast. He can get there really fast. Yeah. And there he goes. Dawn also coming for the top rune, so Heroic putting a lot of emphasis on this rune.
Ari's going to be late. He won't be making it there for the 6-minute rune if it spawns top. So scam bottom, 80 picked up by KJ. The Olikor also coming in to assist, so Ari and the boys, they're going to be late. Help out, recognizing the situation. Now there's a bit of a backline Treant Protector found, so they get the D ward, they get the kill, first blood for the Dawn.
Yeah, that was really good by KJ. He went for
Bottom
the rune.
died as well. Going straight for V-Tune. This is going to be some slow damage. Can they get V-Tune in the end? There's a creep wave under the tower. It's also doing some damage to Whisper and the Olikor, but they're smartly swapping the aggro. They'll get a return kill. Now down to the mid lane. So the third fight in a row. Tylum is going to push BZM up to the high ground, and it's a close call, but Ari's there with the zap, and BZM lives.
So much action in 30 seconds.
Love it.
Wisdom coming too in 10 seconds. Look like they want to contest on Heroic.
Fourth fight. Got a battle in top and mid and bottom. So, of course, it's only natural we return back to the top lane. Ari trying to go for the lift steal. He could have waited. There's a little trick you can pull by lifting them out just as the circle's almost complete. Then you walk in for the steal, but, you know, they just wanted to play it safe. Not take any risks.
Fun fact is they changed how the XP thing works. So before that would happen, right? The enemy would charge the XP, and then you would just walk in last second and pull them out, and then you would take it. So now it doesn't work like that anymore. Now if two heroes are standing in the XP pool, they just cancel each other out, and then you have to recharge it if you want to take it. So they kind of nerfed that little interaction that also SD had, that you would just disrupt the guy and then just steal the wisdom. They kind of nerfed it. You actually need to commit to the wisdom now and sit on it for a couple seconds to get it.
Yeah, I thought it worked that like the old way there. As he lifted him out, then he walked into the circle, because it felt like it continued from the previous point. But you could be right. At the same time, KJ gonna get targeted, but BZM doesn't have the chance to use the roar. KJ actually doesn't get himself on the high ground with the Celestial Hammer. But the most important part, Tylum secures the Arcane on the Pango. He's caught up pretty nicely in farm. Only slightly ahead of 33's Largo, though.
And Darkseer, the winner of this laning stage.
Again.
Top net worth.
Whisper.
Dominator, yeah. And he's super happy. He's just giga turbo farming every camp. Eventually, he will just take this tower with his Dominator.
Also, I'm just loving the Olikar's movement on this Tusk. Like, he's super deep into the enemy jungle, sharing some of that. Now he's sharing V2's XP. First, he was taking BZMs. Actually, might even get a solo kill on V-Tune just by being here. Forces out a Fairy Fire. Pushes V-Tune to the limit.
Casual boar.
Ari is coming in.
Away.
Can Rubik cross the river, get that maximum movement speed to get there? Here comes Whitemon. Blood Grenade up. Throw in the Nature's Grasp. Try to body block this Tusk. That's some beautiful movement there. The Olikor nowhere to go. And V-Tune will get his kill. He'll hit his level 6.
All right, space created. Same thing from last game. The Hoodwink was there blocking camps. He's doing the same on Tusk, but...
Spotted BZM, got the roar off, and he might be able to run away. Good escape for BZM. Yeah, a ton of action. With just 4 kills in this game, we got almost all of those 4 kills in the span of maybe a minute. All right, definitely increasing the tempo now.
I really like the way Heroic's playing. They're playing super aggressive on the Tusk. Now the Darkseer is just cutting the waves. They're also playing aggressive on their safe lane. And then they just combine mid, even bring the gyro to hit this mid tower. And they're going to get really early mid tower, just like in last game. They got the mid tower at 10 minutes. And here, again, they're getting the mid tower. And naturally, they'll also probably get this offlane tower with the next siege, right? Pango's going to take this rune. Doesn't have his diffusal completed yet. Probably going to farm this stack here and finish it now. And then look to take this bottom tower and already have a really good map for the next coming minutes.
Also, did you look at Whisper's build? He's picking up an Orchid on the Darkseer after finishing the Dominator. Is this standard on Darkseer now, or is this just a Whisper build?
Not really standard, but I like it. I think a lot of people have gone for this Orchid recently. Most notably, you saw 3-3 by Orchid on Brewmaster versus Weaver. And that was a classic matchup that it's very good for Weaver, since Brewmaster has no stuns, but if you just buy an Orchid, you can just kill the Weaver. So identifying that maybe he needs Orchid to be able to kill some hero.
Or Onto the surge. Here comes the Dawnbreaker. Snowball comes as well. And the Dawnbreaker ulti, maybe a bit of an overlap, so he doesn't get the full healing benefit, but 5 heroes from Tundra are coming here to just kill the Dawnbreaker. Everybody else seems to be getting away. 33. Can he catch up to Theolicor? He might get a second kill if there was a target to lick. Nobody to catch, nobody to find, and V2 will get that 1 kill. But they brought the gyro through the gate. They're actually pinging him. They see him. Yuma got to be careful. Can the rest of Heroic come to the rescue? Because now Yuma has just put himself in a very bad position. Here comes the Pangolier into the silence. Doesn't get the instant rolling thunder. That's going to be Ari down and onto the chase. Good overgrowth by Whitemon, and the shards almost block everybody's escape, but only catches BZM, but still a value target to find. BZM will get killed. Tylon with the double, looking for even more. Theolicor spells on cooldown. Whisper has a surge, and he'll push Tylon forward. He's surged and rolling thunder, but it doesn't actually give him any extra movement speed in his ult. Still a triple for the Pangolier.
A really good rotation from Heroic there. Tundra bringing multiple heroes to defend this tower. I like it, but after they use all their spells, we also saw there when the Beastmaster uses ult, the Dawnbreaker immediately ults and the Tusk saves, so the Darkster got out safe and sound. That just shows the draft right there. You know, they have the saves with the Beastmaster. It's going to be hard for Beastmaster just to roar a target and just kill that target. And nice from Heroic, using their spells at the right time. They opened another tower, so very similar to the first game where Heroic get the early mid tower, they get the early bottom tower.
Yeah, here's the replay.
And they just open the map.
It was a pretty crucial moment for the team to come out just in time. I feel like it was the right read from Tundra, but they took a moment. They were pinging Yuma at the gate and didn't instantly go to him. So maybe that 2 seconds of decision-making took them too long, because Heroic also understood. Yuma saw them all coming towards him and was like, I'm in danger, guys. Like, help me out. We can turn this around. And
yeah,
did.
Beastmaster had no roar there at that fight. Maybe Tundra just had to back off there after they used all their TPs and they came over. But as you said, it's that little second of hesitation that maybe cost them the go on the gyro, right? Maybe if they've gone a second earlier, they would have killed them and it would have been a good fight for them. But different build this game from 3-3 compared to last game. Last game he went for the Conda since he needed to break the Bristol. But in this game he's just going the straight standard build, which is just the Kaya into
using quite a lot to try and kill this Tusk down the mid lane, even burnt the overgrowth, but that's instantly countered by KJ coming in with the Solar Guardian. That's more than enough damage. Take down a tree. Heroic looking really, really hot here, like riding off of that game 1 momentum.
And they're playing really good. Let's see if they can keep it up. They can keep up the tempo. In the first game, I think they did a really good job. I think they kind of didn't give Tundra the space for them to come back. And I think this game, they have everything they need to also not let them come back, since Tundra didn't really have an easy way to open the map, right? This Largo hero is a really greedy hero. If you just watch what's happening, he just walks up to the wave, farms the wave, then he retreats back to the jungle. He can't really pressure this top tower, because the moment he walks up to hit this tower, the Tusk can TP, the Pango can TP, and he's just dead. So the map is becoming smaller and smaller for Tundra, and that just leads them to make this move, right? They have to press the smoke. Beastmaster still doesn't have Ags, but they still feel pressured to have to smoke here and try to open this tower.
And I also feel like this is a kill they kind of need to get to, because this would be the axe for the Beastmaster. So Yuma, he's going down, most likely. No Solar Guardian to protect them, and no TP from the Tusk either. They're going to try and reply and get themselves a bit of revenge for losing their gyrocopter. BZM stuck between Theolicor and Whisper. A couple more hits, they've got him done. Tylon giving pressure on 33 with a Diffusal Blade.
He's diving.
Need a little bit more. Swashbuckle ready. Can he get both, Ari? Oh, doesn't get either one, actually. Whitemon, well, the Train Protector will give his life away so his friends can run. There was a chance Tylon could have maybe swiped both of them dead with a Swashbuckle, but he missed both. However, it's still a one fight for Heroic. They do lose the gyro, but they slow down the Ags on the Beastmaster. Once again, he's still 500 short.
Yeah, good moves from Heroic. They want to keep this top tower alive, so the gyro just being there and them being able to TP is really nice for them. Even though the gyro dies, it's a very good trade for them. They end up getting a lot of kills. Tundra uses a lot of resources. And they're going to continuously keep taking the rune on Pango and just abusing his TP off cooldown, right? If they ever try to attack the top area of the map, they'll just bring multiple heroes to defend. And I'm not really sure what Tundra can really do about it. I think they kind of just have to keep farming their items and just keep scaling like they did in last game. And as they usually do in most of their games. But I think a lot of it is on Heroic to make a mistake at this point. And they're in a really good spot in this game.
It does feel like that. It does feel like that Heroic needs to make like a really big mistake to allow Tundra to have a bit of leeway.
Yeah. They really want to go on this gyro, but they can't really commit on him. Especially now that Dawn has ult. It's just so hard now. This is like the ideal scenario when you have Dawn on your team, is that you can keep your tier 1 alive, and whichever hero is acting like as an anchor there, you always have Dawn ult to be able to connect and defend that hero.
They see V-Tune, the ward plays down, Whisper's got eyes on the Muerta. Might be able to... Oh, that wall's going to be a complete miss, but... Got traffic coming through the gate straight to Whisper here as Yuma's brought in. They tried to intervene with a gyrocopter, but he made his way through and just leaves the Muerta for dead. Tai Lung will pick this one up. They could still take the gate back and maybe defend that top tower. White Mon is there as the greeting party. Looks like they're not going to go.
Yeah, at this point, 17 minutes in, you can probably let that tower die. You know, it already did its job, right? They were able to connect there with the gyro earlier. You can just leave that tower to die now. You don't have to be out of position, try to take the gate to go back, but just let it die and keep farming your side. And here they come to contest the rune.
Yep, another rune
super
for
lucky
Pango.
with the rune. And they're just probably going to go Rosh with this. Yep. Does Tundra want to contest? I feel like they do.
Get the
do they even know that it's
closer.
happening?
I don't think they even know about it. Just might do that as well. Dawn is keeping top already to protect the tower. Gonna lose that Aegis to Tai Lung. Pango for the second life, not for the gyrocopter. They feel like this Pango is the real haymaker right now. Diffusal, Aghanim's already built. Maybe even the better Aegis carrier at this stage of the game.
Yeah, I like it when the first Aegis goes to the mid. I think it's so much better. The carrier's probably just going to be farming anyways, right? So probably just give it to the hero that's going to get in there and fight so he can play even extra aggressive. And Dawn going for that Ags. I did mention earlier that I didn't think he was going to buy Ags because that item just got nerfed. But he's gonna buy it anyways, right? What do I know? I said that they weren't gonna play at 5, and he wasn't gonna buy Ags, and he's just doing the exact opposite. So he probably knows something I don't. I probably need to take a look at this replay and learn some from him.
It's a very interesting mechanic, the the Break of Dawn, that it's more effective at the start of the daytime, and it's got less effect towards the later portion of the day. And if you start a night into day, you get the full benefit.
Yeah, it's just interesting that it doesn't really make that big of a difference for support Dawn, right? Because the only difference it makes is kind of like Division. Because you're not really doing damage, right, on Dawn. Tormentor up. Heroic using some TPs to contest the Torment area. They're also smoked. Dawn can always connect at any point. And Gyro's probably going to take the gate in the next couple seconds after he clears these camps. That's
also the first POW rune for Tundra. 20 minutes. The AD picked up by BZM into the bottle. It's a hell of a good rune to have, too, if you want to have a quick power spike. They saw the gyro top. They might be able to move to Yuma. BZM's running into him.
BZM is surprisingly farmed. He actually has a lot of net worth. He did a really good job.
His farming patterns have been excellent. He actually has more than Whisper, and Whisper won the lane pretty convincingly. Goes the Roar, finds the Dawnbreaker. They'll take what they can get. That ends a long drought. The last time they killed a hero was Yuma at the 15-minute mark when they dove the T1 tower. So it's been almost 6 minutes since Tundra has found a kill.
Kind of weird that Heroic, they went bottom with the smoke and they didn't end up taking the Tormentor. Like the Gyro didn't gate and they didn't kill this Torm. They had 3 heroes bottom. The Gyro just had to gate and they would be able to kill Torm, but they chose just to not kill it.
Yeah, I feel like teams used to highly prioritize taking Tormentor at 20 minutes, but Heroic just don't feel like it's a must-have.
It comes back to the change that it's harder to kill now, so you need multiple heroes. So maybe the Gyro said, I'm not coming, guys. And then they concluded, we just cannot kill.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened.
They do get info that...
tier 2.
Yeah, the tier 2, there's something they're going to get. Double Wisdoms for Tundra at least. V2 and Ari, both finding a piece. They'll get what they can take. And yeah, you can see the building damage graph there. It's already 6 times the number for Heroic. Not big numbers yet, but less than 1,000 building damage at 21 minutes. Kind of comes to the topic you were bringing up about 33 on the Largo. Not that much pushing power, or at least not that much tower power. Beastmaster does have it, but BZM has been mostly farming either safe lanes or just jungle. Haven't really prioritized buildings.
Yeah, the Largo, he doesn't really add much to the team until he actually has Ags. He's just kind of a hero that farms very slowly until he gets to his item. Of course, when he gets to his item, then he's really strong, but it's a very greedy hero. He takes a while to get there. And if the game implodes before that, then it's one of those what can you do moments, right? It's like, I can't really help, guys. I need to get to my item. And
also, 600 building damage from 3 tier 1 towers, of which 2 have been taken. That's, what, 5,400 minus 600? So you could say Tundra on their heroes have done less than, maybe slightly more than 10% of building damage on their own. The creeps have done the rest.
Yeah, they're just not in a position to be able to take the towers. Like, ideally, the Beastmaster would be able to snowball, and then he can hit the tower with the boars, or the Morta could be hitting the towers, but Morta's had a really quiet game, right? He farmed, he had a couple deaths, and he kind of lost his lane because of the rotations that happened in the early game, right? He got dove, the tree ended up going top, and then he died, so not really the best heroes to hit the towers. They weren't really in position to be able to hit the towers.
They are interested about bottom because Tylung is half HP. His Aegis is expiring. Tundra looking for a response. Can they kill Yuma out of position? That would have been down to Whitemon just pressing the R button, but not enough backup in time. It was just the supports in the front. The AI even ends up stunning 33 at the back. So the Croakers preventing 33 from fighting. And now Heroic is turning around instead. So are Tundra ready for this fight? The Dire Scan is on point, but they have no idea where the Tree Man is. Oh, no fight in the end.
Mega value for the Treant there. He's just scouting everything. Didn't get caught. That's why that hero's still being picked. The Nature's Guise is a really nice spell. But meanwhile, the Dawn is just farming on her side. He's just doing his thing. One of the perks of having Dawnbreaker on your team is any downtime is farm time for this hero, since she can always connect with ulti.
Got the shard now too, so it'll help with the Starbreaker usage, or at least being able to soak up maybe some incoming stuns or crowd control. You can Starbreaker in through the calling, so you don't want to get silenced by walking in close to get your stun out. You can just use it to get into the circle anyway. Not really an interaction, but pointing it out.
Heroic being very cautious with their movement. They're just S5 a lot, right? You just see there were just 4 heroes bottom, and now there's just 5 heroes in their jungle. So, thinking, are they confused on how they should play the map, or is this purposely how they want to play? They just want to hug each other and just play as 4. Because I feel like they're hugging each other a little bit more than they really have to.
The Olicard goes in. He interrupts that force staff of Amari with the Walrus Punch. Working in with the vacuum, make sure that they get a kill. He's going to be up in 40 seconds again. They spotted Whitemon in the back with an Observer Ward, and now it's the eternal chase again. Try and find the Tree Man. He's cutting waves now. There's the blink with the dust. They finally spot the Tree and Protector. That one cast spell reveals his location. And that's both supports dead on the side of Tundra. Heroic will claim territory in the top area.
A nice moves from Heroic, getting some pickoffs. The warding too. They had a ward exactly to see the treant movement. And they're probably going to get another tier 2 off this. So what's next for them? Roche is still 30 seconds from respawning. They're probably going to start playing for that since they took it so early.
Tundra, you know, they need time, they want to get bigger, but how do you feel like the scaling goes in this game? If Tundra gets to free farm and Heroic doesn't take objectives, does it actually allow them to get back into the game, or how do you feel like? We'll get to that in seconds. PZM actually, can he get that TP out? No, he cannot, because there's a Dawnbreaker coming in with the Solar Guardian, and that was costly. That's your 9-second BKB gone from BZM on top of him actually being dead, so... If Heroic want to continue going, which they will, they TP to the outpost, they find another. Not good for Tundra, but Heroic, I think that's what they were looking for. That's what they've been waiting for.
Yep, punishing Tundra on the map. Tundra very efficient at farming while losing the game, right? When they're in a deficit, they're very good at positioning their heroes on the map, but getting punished now. And it might turn into a little bit of a high ground while Beastmaster's still dead. And remember, when he spawns, he has no BKB and no roar. So they might try to even take a fight in the enemy base. Largo did finish his Ags, so he's ready.
And P-Tune also looks capable with his inventory. He's level 17. He gets to that level 3 Pierce the Veil. It's an extra 15% base damage bonus, so double the damage on the Morta.
Yeah, about the scaling you said earlier, I think both teams are fine scaling. I think they can both scale into each other. They probably both feel comfortable scaling into this game. I think Morta late game is a monster of a hero. She just kills everybody so fast. And Gyro is as well, right, with Rapier and all that stuff. So I feel like both teams, they're okay with the game scaling, but you definitely don't want to scale in a losing manner, right? You don't want to be losing in the game that's going longer. So they're not going to be just content with just farming. They just hit their timings now with the Largo and everything, so they use smoke.
That's a good scan. They know exactly what Tundra are up to. That's a good scan from Heroic.
Good read from Heroic. And they'll smoke themselves. I want to get a counter smoke. Of course, these are the smokes that go on for the Roche, right? Roche is up. So both teams, they want to get a position advantage.
And all waves are pushing in towards Tundra's base, so this is like the best moment to try and get out, get himself a move going on. Like
the Roche is going to roar here. They're going to know if they're doing it.
Tundra's right nearby.
Tundra smoked again.
Might be an interesting fight. It's a big one for Tundra. This could also be a game winning for Heroic if they're able to take this one. The Roshan down to 7,000 HP. Not a whole lot lost. EZN, they see him. Oh, okay. Well, the Stormcrafter neutral actually revealed his location. He got zapped. Or actually, he zapped the KJ Dawnbreaker. Sorry, he did actually zap BZM on the lower. Yeah, that's how the Dawnbreaker saw him. Neutral on the beast. Goes down to half.
BKB on Gyro for this fight. He can definitely get bursted. Even with all the saves.
Oh, this is really
30 seconds
right now.
Swap sides.
I wonder who's the one to drop first. Yuma down to 2,000 HP. Going to be pulled back to safety. Heroic will reset. Tundra also have some. Well, they don't really have lanes to deal with. The bottom lane is close enough to push back. Top's doing fine. Heroic anticipating something?
They just think they won't be able to kill the Roche in time, so they just back off.
There is good vision laid down by Tundra down the mid lane on both the steps. At least one showing in front of the pit, one on the Heroic side. Heroic, they only have a Roche ward. Do they actually have any wards in stock? No, they don't have any wards in the shop. They don't have... It's a courier delivering one ops ward for the Oligarch. That's the only ward they can work with right now. And it might just be for this top Roshan pit too. So then you're going to be in a... I think it's 1.5 minutes without another ward restock, so no, it's not that bad, but gotta make them work, gotta make them count.
It's like Gyro kind of giving up on the Rosh for now. They can always continuously just scatter with the Dominator, so Tundra will never really be able to kill the Rosh without Heroic knowing.
Deciding not to go for it right now. Tundra keeping their eyes open on it. Still a 9,000 gold lead for Heroic. They took game 1. They are in the lead for game number 2. The previous series on the B stream was the only 2-0 today. Everything else has gone 3 games. We are still open in this game 2 if we'll get ourselves a equalizer. Tundra at least wants to make it happen. Ari finds the info on Theodor's Tusk. Great target, gets the snowball off though. And Tylon coming in with the Rolling Thunder, charging straight in. Good ulti there from the Dream Protector. Solar Guardian also keeps the Tusk alive. The Roar comes out as well. Tylon is stunned, but they can't get any damage out of Heroic. Are really applying some damage on V2. He's standing his ground. Onto the Pango they go. They're looking for the kill on Tylon. They will get the kill on him. V2 cleans him up, and BZM on the low ground pushes Theodor away. Yuma has to reset his position as well. BZM's BKB is running out now. Whisper will die to 33. Tundra, 2 big kills. Heroic pushed all the way back. Might lose a 3rd hero. King Jungles, nowhere to go except to the safety of that tier 2. But 33, he's on the chase. He's hungry for blood. They want more. KJ running away as they got White Bond down to half. BZM down to half. Whisper with the turn. Yuma gonna get lifted up into the air. Doesn't have his BKB. He's still got a Manta available now. Finally pops it down to 900. They're pushing Tundra away. Tylon coming in from another crack bang, and he gets a double. And they might find a 3rd. Tundra overextending, not finding any quick kills. And Heroic bringing in Tylon with the buyback to turn this one around. V2 and ulti activated. King Jungle's down. BZM hunting for another. And they've got 33. Triple kill for Tylon. BZM with another roar. Rolling Thunder's coming up in 6 seconds. And they target V2. Yuma will get the kill, and Theodor with just 200 HP with the Blink Walrus Punch takes him. And now with V2 and the boys down, the buybacks pay off. Heroic team wipe Tundra. Long sequence.
That was such a long fight. It ended up being really good for Tundra there. Getting 2 kills early in the fight, and not ideal for Heroic. They end up using the Dawn ult, not on the Beastmaster Roar, to end up saving the Pango when he gets ulted by the tree. And they just end up extending at the tier 2. Good buybacks there from Tylon and from Whisper. It was looking grim for Heroic there. They had lost that fight, and they were in full retreat mode. Tundra could have just backed off and gone for the Rosh, but they kind of overextended into the tier 2 and got punished by Heroic's buybacks. And they're going to get this Rosh, or they're going to give the Aegis to Whisper. Okay, since he has no buyback, he will take the Aegis.
Yeah, because of those buybacks spent on Heroic, the economy only swings 2,000 gold towards Heroic. This could have been a whole lot more, but because of those buybacks, it allows them to actually win that fight. You think that's a good thing for Tundra, that they still lose this fight and allow that Aegis to go away, but they burnt 2 core buybacks away from Heroic? Do you think that's a good sign?
Well, it definitely shows that they are still in this game, right? The game's not over yet by any means, but I do think that fight was the ideal situation for Tundra, was where the Tusk didn't end up saving from the Beastmaster Roar, and the Dawn ult was used out of the Beastmaster Roar. So for that to happen again, I think Heroic, they need to mess up. I think if Dawn just holds her ult for the Beastmaster ult, it's impossible for Tundra to win a fight. Better than to have them use their buybacks than to not use their buybacks, right?
True.
But I felt like it was more of a mistake from both teams. Heroic didn't use their spells properly in that fight, and then Tundra just overextended at the tier 2 and got punished by buybacks.
You probably weren't expecting Heroic to commit that heavily into the continuation of that fight using buybacks.
Yeah.
But I guess when you see them under your tier 2 tower, it feels like, why not? Because we can get there.
Exactly. And now it's kind of coming all together where the Gyro, he's actually getting the damage items now. Since in that fight, he didn't really have any damage items. He had only Crystallis, really. But now the Daedalus is almost ready. and he's actually gonna start doing damage in these fights. Before he was kind of just there, right? He has Dragon Lance, Manta, he has all these items to help him live, but not really damage. But now he will get to his first damage item, and he'll actually be a threat now. He might just kill the beast through his own BKB.
I love how you're pointing out the Gyrocopter lacking damage items when the Darkseer feels like the right-clicking carry, right? He's got an Orchid, he's got a Nullifier. This is like a, of course, this is your offlane build to disrupt and harass, but it does feel like a, I'm looking at some Night Stalker Phantom Assassin hybrid in this Darkseer's inventory.
And he's just doing it himself. You know, there's he buys a Nullifier so the Pango can buy Refresher.
Yeah.
One of them had to buy Nullifier probably in this game to kill the supports. So. And
Tai Lung did buy the Refresher in game 1 too on that Pangolier, so he's wanting to do it again. Got the Basher queued up next. That will really kind of culminate the power of Pango and an Ags, having a Basher in there. And of course the Diffusal Blade. They all work together so well.
Yeah, I think ideally you don't want to buy Nullifier either on Pango since you're going to build into Disperser anyways, and that also gives you a Dispel. So, commanding position here for Heroic. They have the Aegis, Gyro hit his timing, he now has Daedalus, so they're probably feeling comfortable to take any sort of fight that comes to them. I think if Gyro just goes first, and he's the first point of contact, it's very hard for Heroic to lose a fight. I think Muerta, she's not there yet. I think if she finishes Silver Edge and then a Mjolnir, then I can see Muerta being a really big threat, but not yet.
Yeah, not quite yet. Anyway, Lelis, I want to throw a bit of a fluff question for you. I want to test your mettle, because this is our first day in the casting booth together. I'm going to throw a bit of a wild one here. So, talking about your ex-teammates, would you... I'll hold that question for later, apparently, because we're going to be fighting. At least with the Solar Guardian, they're going to keep their buddies up. KJ, that's a lot of damage coming in with the Nomador and Yuma, who can't actually do anything. And Whisper's just opting to TP out, but that's a no, sir, with the Overgrowth coming in. So that fight doesn't even feel like it even started for Heroic. They burnt the Solar Guardian to keep the boys up, but man. 17,000 damage to the 2K. Holy. That's an insane metric right there.
That did so much damage, actually. Yeah, I think that was just the Largo Ags doing so much damage there. And just like that, Tundra is back. Off one fight there. They had a really good... Yeah, now the Muerta definitely feeling a lot scarier, right? Finished her Silver Edge.
I need to look at this replay again. Like, okay, there's the Roar. They set everything up. The Solar Guardian comes out. The Largo ulti is in there. And they're just getting sucked in and they don't do any damage back. They're just helpless. That's like the Wumbo combo that Tundra has been looking for almost all game long, and it finally gets handed out to them, and it's a massive swing.
You can't really ever count Tundra out of these games. They're really good at comebacks.
So now we might have a moment. My question to you is, we got Tai Lung Pango, but would you choose Quinn Pango over Tai Lung Pango?
I'll definitely choose the Quinn Pango. You know, I'm a little biased there.
I know you're biased. I know you were probably going to answer that.
The thing is when I played with Quinn, he didn't play Pango as much. He started playing it more when he played for Gaming.
Right. Didn't get to enjoy it too much.
Yeah. Alright, so from being in a dominant position now, I think Heroics, they're bringing a bunch of TPs to defend this tower. Do they really want to fight this? Dawn TP's in. They do want to fight.
Just trying to find a way in, but Tundra's already positioned pretty well onto the high ground. Spotted Yuma. The poke on him. Roar comes out on the side. They've spotted Whisper, and here's the response. Yuma trying to get in position to deal damage, but Tundra really nicely pushing themselves away. They've got full vision on Heroic. This is not a good fight necessarily, but Tundra. They do get pulled in by the vacuum. Whitemaw's going to be the one going down first. Whisper is down very low on HP. He's finally fallen, and the Theolicor has to retreat by 33. 3 heroes hitting him at the same time. V2 going to find himself a double kill out of this fight. 33 finally falling to Yuma, and now they got V2 locked in as well with BKB trying to get away as he's got 800 HP remaining. Should be okay for now, but can they complete the chase? No bash coming in from Tylone. Rocket is still chasing. It's gonna give a nice little bonk to the head for V-Tune. But anyone with detection, Dawnbreaker has some sentries. They know where the words it is. Just a bit more for Steph coming in. No Rubik Shard for Ari. No save today. Probably the first game of the day where the Rubik doesn't have the shard and he's not saving his allies. So that allows them to get the V-Tune kill in the end.
Such a close game. So many small details in these fights going on. You saw there the Beastmaster initiating with Roar. He saw that Lincolns was used on the Gyro. So he knows that Darkster has no Lincolns. So that alone lets him go for the Roar there. Then he ends up having to kite because the Gyro uses all his spells. And the Largo is doing so much in these fights now. He's healing so much. So if Heroic, they don't really get like the burst on some of these targets, the Largo just ends up healing from the fire. And now you see the Largo actually having a lot of impact in these fights since he's at the point where he has his 3 points in his ulti. And at this point, the hero definitely feels very similar to what it was last time. Just that now...
Definitely does.
Yeah.
There goes Ari. That's a 420 for the Theolicor. 420 gold.
Blaze it.
And BZM's queued up a Satanic. That's an interesting pickup. You get a Dispel. You get a bit of a, you know, extend the fight a bit further by throwing in a couple extra hits. I actually like that.
It's good. Definitely gives him, especially after they nerfed the refresher working on BKB. A lot of people have pivoted over back to Satanic since it gives you kind of like another life really to fully fill your HP. Before, the Beast would just buy a refresher here, right? And just have 2 BKBs. But it doesn't work like that anymore.
Battle for the focus. Whitemon recognizing he's got some friends coming in. Now we're bringing in KJ. Is this a fight for Heroic? It's the supports versus the team of Tundra. This is not exactly a very good fight for them. They have nobody around. Did they just give them the gem? They just gave them the gem. So 2 kills, a gem recovered. Tundra's happy to take that. I was like, oh, for me?
A little bit of a whiff there. They thought they were going to get there in time on the course, but they're just so way too far away. And Gyro has his Satanic now, so the Gyro definitely has almost all his items ready. Curiously, he did not buy Ags in this game. And free Roche for Tundra.
Very fast one too.
Without the supports. It will not roar since Heroic took the last Roche.
They've got all the goodies. Refresher shards, cheeses, banners. Of course, the
costly mistake from Heroic.
They are. I think we can. I think it's quite safe to say they are struggling to close out this game. They were in control of this game pretty well since the first 10 minutes, all the way to diving a gyrocopter at the 15-minute mark at the tier 1 tower, where they snowballed into multiple kills and they get a Roshan giving away a tier 1 tower. We're at 43 minutes and it feels like this is either team's game now.
Yeah, definitely either team's game, especially when you have Muerta on one side and Gyro on the other. Muerta, she can kill heroes so fast. If you blink, you just die.
They didn't actually know it was the Drain Protector that was popping their smoke, so they went to the Rubik. Found him.
Gyro already has Rapier in his quick buy. So let's see if he's gonna disassemble Daedalus with the... Actually, can he even do that anymore? I don't think he can, right?
I don't think he
they
can.
removed that. Yeah, they removed that. Never mind me.
Used to. It's not too long ago you were able to do that. I always...
Yeah, they removed the chop chop.
Yeah. I was always afraid to point out to Fear if he said something that was like old news. It's like, oh, this guy's a TI winner. I'm not supposed to say anything to him, you know?
Yeah.
It's like that.
I mean,
that
sometimes
interfere.
it's hard to keep up with all the changes.
It is.
There's way
There's
too many
so much-
stuff in the game.
There's so many things. That's why we have so many casters and analysts and different types of players, because they all know different tidbits here and there. Collective hive mind.
They're TPing top. They want to take this fight. KJ has Refresher now, so very strong on bot.
V2 is in a good position to just hammer down Whisper, but he doesn't pop the ult for it. Just throw in a couple jabs and instead end up getting killed by his own illusion. H is gone. You talked about the Muerta illusion doing a hell of an amount of damage, but it certainly does. Nullified as well. That they gotta kill this Muerta illusion. She's tearing him apart. Snowball Edge to safety. Snowball coming in. Rocket coming in. That BKB is out. V2. Oh, the shards don't connect by Theolacor. It's just slightly a bit short there. They are protecting Muerta. Give her the cheese. She's back to full HP. Refresher is also given. Has another round of BKB and an ulti available. And Theolacor might have gone a bit too deep here. But here's the Solar Guardian from King Jungles on the side. Muerta's still okay. They've isolated 33. She's holding the front line. He's keeping vision and tabs on Heroic. Theolacor does buy back, but that Tusk has to run to his team. So we have a pause in the fight. Refresher spent, cheese is spent, Aegis is gone. Cost of a buyback.
Right, good outcome for Heroic. They make Tundra spend all their goodies from the Roche, so evening it out for the next fight. Of course, you don't want to really use a buyback, but a support buyback there for that, it's definitely a worthy exchange. And Rubik doing a lot of work, giving the Muerta surge in these fights.
Yep. I was getting worried about that Darkseer Wall of Replica illusion just shooting that Muerta for free. I don't even think V2 even registered that how much damage it's doing until they actually then started pushing mass force staffs on Muerta to get her to safety.
Yeah, we see why the Darkseer was the last pick of this draft. He definitely knows his matchups on Whisper. Definitely knows that he's happy in this matchup as Darkseer versus the Muerta.
Might see another clash coming in again. EZM. Move up. Both quite close to each other. Show them with
finished.
throwing axes. Yeah, they're going back again. Not the place to fight at. We have only 3 players with a buyback up. If you take a glimpse at the buyback status, that's on the Beast, the Muerta, and the Pango. So a very poor situation overall, even though we have players queuing up or has a rapier in the inventory, and BZM had 7,000 gold. I think he just bought a Lincoln's. Yeah, there you go. So he is slightly short from his buyback. I think both teams are just going to want to farm their buybacks now until they actually pick a clash.
Yeah, the only real objective is the Torm, but that objective's kind of whatever. It's not worth risking your position to kill a Torm at 50 minutes. Roche is a while away, so as you said, teams they're going to play safe and try to farm their buybacks, because any small mistake could be game-changing at this point. If you don't have buyback, you might just lose the game off one little mistake. So teams, they tend to be very cautious and farm their buybacks in these situations. It doesn't matter that much for the Gyro since he has a rapier, but you never know. Maybe you can buy back in the fight and come back and get the rapier. Anything can happen, really.
Yeah, you got a lot of like stationary saving abilities, especially on Heroic. Like if you drop that rapier down on the ground and you still have access to, say, Solar Guardian and Snowball, you could technically still get to the rapier before your opponent does.
Damn, nice read there from KJ. Realizing that they were on the enemy wisdom. He has no vision. He just read the map.
Tormentor and a shard for the Gyro. Not really very impactful at 49 minutes into the game.
Not the best shard.
It's like when I played offlane Gyro in my pubs, I go like magical build. That 15 to 20 minute magical gyrocopter, that hurts. But 49 minutes, not that much.
Nice wraparound here for Tundra. Are they going to run into... They're going to backstab Heroic. They see them
They
taking
see
the
the
outpost.
couriers. They know where they are.
Donald is ready, and he has Refresher.
Counter smoke coming up, but they're going to sit in the Roche pit area. It's Tundra.
Dawn has increased vision during day, remember. So
Yeah.
he sees more.
Extends very far.
We
They're
see
coming
Dawn.
in.
He has
KJ
buyback.
going to get hit by the roar and nuke down as Tylong is coming in for the response. The vacuum catches the Mortar. Mortar going to get Force Staff back to safety as they've got 33 nowhere to go. Force Staff comes in just in time. Ari comes for the rescue, saves 33. He doesn't die in an igloo of hell.
Dawn holding his buyback. Very good from KJ. He doesn't have to use it immediately.
Yuma's going ham.
Gyro's going in.
Gyro's just non-stop going. The lift comes out. Lotus is applied. Snowball stun connecting onto the Rubik, and all hell breaks loose again onto the back line. Easy end. He's still got that roar, but does he get to use it? No, he's going to get killed during the silence from Whisper's Orchid, and now they focus 33. This is round 2. This time the Largo falls, and KJ, no buyback spent. He'll still hold on to it. A 4v5 fight, which they end up winning.
It's impressive that he didn't use his buyback on Dawn. I feel like if that was me, I would just fat finger my buyback, just join my team in 4v5. But Heroic with a great read. They know that Beastmaster doesn't have Roar, doesn't have BKB. They use all their spells in that fight, so they're not ready. Largo also with no BKB. So they recognize it and they know when they're strong. Gyro just goes first with Surge. Here's a Gyro Rapier. Gonna force some buybacks here.
They've got 4 more. Rubik spends his first. Largo Beast waiting for the time to arise. There's the high ground glyph being popped. Melee racks down, and that's the last glyph basically. As the lift comes out with the buybacks, instantly they're gonna look to engage, and look at that! Good night, Rapier down on the deck, picked up by Muerta, who now packs over 900 right-click damage. So that's how quickly things can shift, but Tundra, you burnt buybacks for this. You've burnt your high ground glyphs pretty much. You've got 1 more, which they can save if their Ancient's in trouble, but let's see what they can do with that Rapier now on the Morta.
Roche is up, so kind of hard situation here for Roche. Do they buy back to contest this Roche, or do they just let them have Roche plus... I guess they're just going to let them have it. Gyro doesn't want to use his buyback. He already has another Rapier queued up. He knows that he does no damage if he doesn't have Rapier, so he can't really use his buyback.
Just a casual cheese and a banner in the pit, but White Mall's already carrying a banner. It's like, I don't have inventory room for all these items. Do you have that issue a lot as a support player in the late game, where it's like, all game long, you've always had space in your inventory, and now you get to this phase where it's like, I can't fit anything here anymore.
Yeah, you need to get rid of the junk in your inventory a lot. Especially when the 3rd or the 4th Roche die. There's way too many items to pick up. And the push is coming. I don't think Gyro is going to use his buyback, and he also doesn't have money for Rapier, so... What will Heroic do here?
Tundra's trying to equalize the structural situation at least. They only lost the melee racks in a tier 3. Here comes the Walrus kick onto the Murta, kick him all the way back if they can, and there's the Aegis, but still need to go for a round 2. BKB moves back into the active inventory. Roar onto Tylong's Pangolier. Here comes V2 popping that Pierce the Veil. Being protected for the time being for now. Gyrocopter is back in action. Let's see if they can get the chase. The rocket is flying through all the way to the back line. Tylong is there. The Lincolns will pop the rocket. Now they got the Solar Guardian. 33 doesn't get hit by the stun, dancing around the trees. Nicely juking Heroic's members, but finally getting caught by the Hex. And they still try to save 33. Looks like Tundra is just going to leave them for dead. No saving Force Staffs this time around. Tylong still hunting for more, but they've already TP'd away. And that is a Largo gone with no buyback. So that's the dieback on 33, gone for 2 minutes.
Good hold there from Heroic.
Very back and forth.
Clutch from the Tusk. He got the kick back on the Morta. I think that was a surprise too for Tundra. I think they didn't know that he had the Ags there.
So it's like a one-trick pony. I mean, But the Tusk Axe is more than just a one-trick pony. It's going to work so many times. But the shock and awe effect, the first time you use it like that.
So Gyro, he will buy another rapier, and he will have no buyback. So it's rapier versus rapier. Roche is very far away, so we're probably going to see tier 5 items before the next Roche.
It's very likely. Longest game of the day so far. We've had some pretty short, pretty decisive games up until this point. This game 2 from Tundra Heroic is very back and forth, and good it is, because we kind of talked about in the previous series, you don't want to end day 1 with a 2-0 loss. You want to at least get to 3 games so you see the good and the bad. If you feel like you just lose 2-0, it, like you're using your words, quoting your words, feels demoralizing.
Yeah. Smoked up from Heroic. They're betting all they have on this Tusk kick. He has the ward in the sentry. Morta just walking up. Gets spotted?
V-Tune, yeah. Rocket. Actually sent in, no other ability connected. Whisper, if he, you know, one good blink hex, or a good old walrus kickback, they have the damage required to nuke a Morta down during a hex duration. It's more than enough.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, both teams, they have what it takes to burst any target down with the rapiers. It all just comes down to who jumps who first, and if the saves are ready, right? If the Dawn is ready with their ult, can she save the Gyro from the Muerta burst? Probably not. Honestly, I feel like the Muerta might just kill the Gyro so fast in 3 hits. And the same goes for the Gyro. He might just kill the Muerta so fast in 1 kick back that they might not have enough time to react. So it's more about who jumps first.
Tiger in position held for Heroic Tundra down on the right side of the mid lane. Creeps are in the base with double catapults doing some damage to the statues.
Haven't really talked about the Largo E either. He's been constantly pressing it on the Muerta, and it just does so much more damage. The reverberating damage. It's a crazy good combo with the Muerta ult. It just does so much damage. And now the Largo also has a Linkens. So you can just continuously keep pressing it on Muerta, and they will have the double Linkens active. And remember, since it lasts longer because of Largo's passive, he just has permanent Linkens on Muerta.
An attempt onto the Dawnbreaker, instantly charging if Tylung was ready for it. Muerta popping to pierce the veil. Tylung is in the middle of all of that action. That's 1 hero down. The Dawn still has ulti. It's a good hero to buy back with. Keep that in mind. Beastmaster hit by the vacuum. Linkens is pop. Lift save coming out from Ahri. No buyback used by the Dawn yet. Yuma. That courier does not have a rapier bot. Does have that Demon Edge in his backpack. Holding onto his brown boots. Values the mobility for now.
Still have all their spells on Tundra. Still the rapier
AD.
on Gyro.
That works as a rapier replacement.
Because he's holding his buyback instead of buying rapier. I guess it's the better choice. Baiting with the Manta Illusion? No, they're not going to fall for it.
that's way too obvious. Right?
You never know. You never know, man. Maybe they use their spells on it.
Did he disconnect or something?
Most of it is like the mental part. Is like you need to keep your enemy in check. Because if they mess up, you might just win the game.
Talking about that, what's like the dumbest thing you've seen your teammate do in a moment? Like, you don't have to name any names, but like any similar thing like that.
Well,
are you saying like there's too many of them?
it probably has to do like with some refresher BKB thing. Right. I don't know, maybe someone used BKB and then they use refresher to refresh it instantly after. Has to be something like that, or they press the cheese without having to press it. Probably some sort of.
Oh yeah, like you eat the cheese and you didn't give it to your teammate instead.
Yeah.
That happens to me way too often. That's why I'm not a pro player. I walk up to my friend and I just eat the cheese while he's dying. It's like, yeah, didn't mean to rub any salt in your wounds.
It's cool now that they added a little icon that it shows when you are trying to deliver your item to an ally. it kind of shows an icon on top of your ally in the game now.
Yeah.
It's like a little nice quality of life update.
I think like that kind of a thing should have always been in the game, but nobody really maybe thought about it too much. It's like maybe one of those things that you know exists, but nobody ever actually like implemented it in. So I think that's a really nice quality of life add into the game.
Yeah, it's like they also added the tread swap. When you swap treads, there's like a little icon that shows the color of your treads on your hero. They also added that recently.
It's that's pretty funky with the particle effects. If you have like a Wind Ranger trying to toggle it, you've got like this disco going on.
The tier 5 items are coming.
All right.
So let's see what everybody's gonna get.
Tune also has that second rapier on the courier disassembled.
So he has that pocket rapier with buyback.
Rapier.
No swift blink though, so his positioning has to be very conservative about it. He can't really go crazy.
I do wonder what kind of tier 5 neutrals we're gonna get. There we go. There's the rapier assembled. Because we got a tier 2 medallion still on Whitemon. Just don't want to give it away. Looks like it's an upgraded medallion for the potency. It's just increasing the duration instead of the added armor. So, you know, that's pretty handy. That actually increases the amount of seconds instead of increasing the armor number. Because +2 armor, is that really going to give you any good at the 60-minute game? Not really. You got an extra 2 seconds on something, that's value.
Pango got the Stygian, which is probably the most value item for him since it applies on the swashbuckles. Really nice item for him, the Stygian plus the evolved, so he does even more damage with his spells.
Yeah, and the Regalia on the Muerta, just kind of self-explanatory, as Ari's been found. Ate the cheese.
Got Regalia. Yeah, you did.
Well, I hope that was a good cheese. Hope it tasted good.
Regalia on both carries, so they're both just kind of...
Yeah. Different enchantments.
Yeah.
One has the lifesteal, the other has the movement speed.
The movement speed is really nice and worth. He's so fast.
Okay, he's in the spot as well. Rubik is still dead for 90 seconds. He's going to instantly buy back as he spots that his friend just got caught in the trees. Easy able to get away to safety. Tai Lung also rolling thunder. This is not the fight for Heroic. They burnt the buyback. I think they should be happy with that. Trying to disengage. Tundra tried to chase for a bit. Couldn't quite catch him. Somebody just spawned Aeon Disc. Oh, they got all clustered up! Oh my goodness! Rubik dieback, Treant gone as well, and they will drop the Pango and a buyback coming out from King Jungle, so they did get a reply to it, but that happened way too quick. 33, he's got 100 HP and he's trying to run away with it, and looks like he will escape. That was rapid. My God, how quickly these things escalate.
And
Was that like a 3-man
gyro.
vacuum? Well, V-Tune anyway finds Cuba, and there goes your gyrocopter. Down to the ground, and another for V-Tune. Picks up a double on the Muerta. Keeping Tundra's hopes alive of stretching into a game 3 potentially.
Casual 1,000 damage per hit on Muerta. Yeah, I just killed the gyro in 3 hits. That's just so much damage.
Solid.
And Muerta late game, this hero is scary. She actually just killed a Dawn there in like half a second.
All right, so what happened at the Secret Shop fight? Did the Tusk accidentally kick Largo away, or what happened? There was too many particles going on at the same time. I didn't quite register that.
My PC kind of froze there. It was way too many things happening on the screen.
All I think I saw was a 3-man vacuum and 2 heroes nuked to death instantly. I was like, okay, that just happened.
Tundra with the Aegis again. King Jungle's no buyback this time. He has an Aeon. They spot him.
Okay, AJ, dieback imminent. If he gets caught, the Aeon Disc is popped already. Solar Guardian away, but no way to escape a Fallen Sky Whitemon. You just got lumbered. All right, now we got a real win condition here for Tundra.
The Mega Creeps don't really mean anything at this point in the game. We definitely have to close out the game first, but Dawn has no buy, so they're probably going to go for the
Dawn
throne
no
here.
buy. That's the big thing here.
It just dies so fast. They
Gyro's
just
up.
have to do something now.
Rapier's picked up. Picked up the catch. Triple force stats even on V2, and everybody using them to get away. And they got Tylong locked in. Pango gone for 100, and now it's up to the Gyro, but this Muerta, they got the Satanic off, but it's not gonna be enough. They cannot stop V2, who is tearing them apart. And we're going to a game 3 in the end. It was a game that Heroic could have taken, but never count Tundra out.
Tundra winning the game in the most...
IO Gyro, 33's shown the strengths that the Largo hero has. I'm still going Heroic with the draft, so I'm joining you. I'm trying to find a reason to be diplomatic and split the draft 1-1, but I'm still going with Heroic on the draft here. So
Yeah, I like Heroic's draft off. I think the Puck was the best pick for them. The 18 Puck versus no stuns. And just the fact that they have Pangolier. This hero is just way too powerful. And Whisper also master tier on Pango, so very comfortable on the hero.
And we are looking at two very different types of teams. You and I on the on off stream, we were actually talking about, like, I came up with this one sentence of, does Tundra even know the word stress? Because they always have games that stretch out long. They're composed. They don't compromise their weaknesses to their opponents, and they are very calm when it comes to the game. Heroic is anything but that. They are a team with high highs and low lows. When you're coming out of a loss like that, do you feel like Tundra maybe has a small edge because they are so neutral? Heroic more has to adjust with their kind of losing the momentum and dropping a game in a series to a team that hasn't really shifted in any direction. Do you feel like it hurts you more?
I mean, I personally think that the stable teams always have an advantage over the more emotional teams. As you said, it's high highs and low lows, right? So it can go from really good to really bad really fast. And I think when you play competitive, you don't really want those low lows that much. Maybe your high is not that high, but if it's consistent, that's what you really want to be able to win, right? You want consistent wins. So I think in games that go really long, especially games that you were ahead in a big portion of the game, it definitely hurts your emotional for the next game. But Heroic, they're a very experienced team as well, right? I'm sure that a loss in a group stage doesn't mean that much to them, even though they were winning the game.
Yeah.
They're probably like, oh, we should have won that game. I'm so upset or something like that. Yeah, but just go next game. These guys have been playing competitive for forever, and maybe not Tai Lung for forever because he's kind of new.
Yeah.
But they have a lot of experience, and they just came off of a 3-2 win in the qualifier for ESL, which they were down. I think they won 2 games and they lost 2 games. So I'm sure that they've been in this situation before, and it's going to be fine for them. It's not that high stakes of a match.
Absolutely.
Of course, you don't want to lose. Right, you don't want to just lose. Oh, just because there's no stakes, I don't care. Like, not really. Of course you care. But
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
like a finals.
I do hear that from players sometimes when I've been talking to them. I won't name any names, of course, but I've been some conversations of like, it's just the Swiss stage, it's just the group stage. So it's like, it really doesn't matter until it actually starts to matter when it comes closer to elimination games and all. So day one especially is one of those games where you can be given that little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather, right? You do great or you do bad, you can move on to the next stage the next day, and you're still in the run. It's like nothing critical hasn't happened yet. So my point being why players say it doesn't matter, it's actually better that they think it that way, because if they get too emotionally affected by day one's results, that's gonna make your day 2 and the remaining, you could be playing 5 days of Swiss stage and make you feel absolutely horrible.
Exactly. And A getting kind of low.
First
and
blood.
He's dead.
That's picked up from the top lane. 33 and Ari find a small opening there to find the Ancient Apparition. Same problem with the Theolicore being chased by Whitemon. does have a Fairy Fire and some stick charges. IO just makes sure that the squirrel's driven away from the lane.
Good pick off there from the Marcy. So AA really doesn't like these lanes where he is in threat on the side to dying. So when the AA is just trading with the Marcy on the side, he gets repositioned by the Dispose, and then he gets repositioned again by the Catch a Lick. AA is very vulnerable here, right? He doesn't like getting gone on. So a little bit of a mistake there from KJ, getting gone on and dying.
Yeah, it is a hard balance for this heroic safe lane in a sense, because you want to be close to each other's because of that given reason. AA is very vulnerable as a hero, and you're playing versus a Marcy who loves to hunt for targets. But you also gotta be pulling. You want to avoid your enemy pause 4 from getting a connection pull. You gotta be there to block camps like they're doing right now. KJ, Ari both respectively blocking those camps. That was BZM stealing water runes from Tai Lung. Same time.
Yeah, and mid, again, BZM pulling ahead, just like in last game, where, I mean, last game, he crushed the lane. And in this lane, he's also having a really good start, right? He has double the puck CS, which is, I mean, it's expected that the Shaker has a better lane in the beginning. Since he can deny a lot of creeps with the Enchant Totem, it's easier for him to get CS, and he also just does the harass with the Slugger. But definitely last game was a little bit too much. Right, so let's see if Tai Lung can do a little bit better in the lane this time.
Yeah, dodging that Slugger, at least you've had a couple patches in between to learn how that mechanic works. As in the top lane, getting another kill off of KJ by the looks of it, and that goes for Ari. They prevent that Ancient Apparition from getting to the safety of his trees, of his tier 1 tower. Get another pick.
And these picks, they start adding up. Largo has boots now, Marcy has boots, and AA, you already see his inventory. He has boots in his quick buy. Because it's starting to get a little bit hard for him. Now Marcy's going to have her jump spell, so every time he's like slightly out of position, he can just keep feeding, right? Not a good start for Heroic in their safe lane.
Yeah, they also lost the Lotus because of that kill on the AA. Not like they were really strong enough to contest an actual Lotus with these two at these levels, these items that they have.
Double Lotus for Tundra,
Double
actually.
Lotus,
They
yeah.
got it in both lanes. So good laning phase for Tundra in this game. Different from the other games, right, where Heroic, they were doing better in lanes.
And does that laning stage somehow translate to this heroic draft working a bit differently? Because what they have been strong at is those early towers, those early kills. The Olik are dropping to V2's flat cannon. Nicely played there by White One with the blood grenade. Do you think Heroic's draft this time around works a bit differently in terms of how they exit the laning stage?
I think it depends a lot on how the Puck's lane goes, because he's the one that can make a lot of these moves happen. And depends a lot on the supports, because if the supports don't have early levels, they're the damage, right, for this Puck and the Pango. So the longer this AA goes without getting level 6, and the longer the Hoodwink goes without getting level 6, it's going to hurt Heroic getting out of the lanes a lot. More than it would than if a core is behind a little bit in net worth. And usually Largo, he doesn't really win his lane like this. Usually he kind of like slightly loses his lane and then he just chills. But in this game, Marcy TPing bottom.
Yeah, straight up plus 10 CS. There's the jump in. Actually misses both heroes with it, but they get to move. No, that was Whisper himself swashbuckling in. They already used the Dispose on the Hoodwink. So that was just a swashbuckle into the middle of all those three heroes instead of to the safety of the tower. So a bit of a misclick. The Olikar is also
Nice
not out of it
rotation
yet
there
because
Ari.
they almost went back in. Did get the pushback in time. Now they're going for the dive. Here comes Whisper though. He's returned back. Maybe this was the plan all along so that he can get 2 kills. Will he get any? Doesn't look too good. Bushwhack will not connect. Whisper left empty-handed. 4-0 for Tundra in the lanes. And there's the rune spawning. It goes for Tai Lung with the Arcane.
lucky there for the puck. So one thing to highlight is no stacks are being made for the Shaker. Marcy's not really the best hero to stack camps, right? He doesn't really have a way to stack both camps at the same time. So Shaker won't really have that network boost, but he's doing fine in his lane. And the Gyro's doing really, really well. He's just top net worth.
Yeah,
2 kills already.
All 3 cores are ahead in CS again, so triple core network lead, almost. Well, the Shaker is only 200 gold short from the Tiny. Will be quite expected, though. It is a Tiny after all. He generally farms pretty well, at least the last hits.
And they're going to contest this Wisdom. It might be a disaster here for Heroic if they lose this Wisdom. Both their supports are going to be super under-leveled. Hoodwink's still level 2 at 7 minutes.
The scan did connect. Are they bringing in numbers? There they are. 2 TPs coming in. Tundra backs
they backed
out.
off. Good read from Tundra, but them just coming over is already good enough, right? The puck used their TP with the rune, so it's already a big win for Tundra.
They're going for the chase here.
And they want to play on this massive wave.
Going for the dive. Does puck just turn around? Yeah, Thailand turns around now. He's like, oh, my guys are in trouble. Whisper's dead. The Olicorp misses the bushwhack. The tree is there, but nobody got hit by the stun. And Ari pulls him straight in, and that's a double for V-Tune.
They're making it look easy.
And you look at that last moment as well, like the puck finished the CP. Yeah, he actually went there and started walking back without boots to the mid lane. And he was maybe 10, 20, 30 pixels away from actually getting spotted or seeing the incoming Tundra heroes. And because he missed out on that, the dive then happens. He turns around in the triangle and the fight's already over because he's too far away. That's a bit of...
It's the small things. They all add up so much. It was Tundra backing off from the Wisdom at the right time and then them attacking on the massive wave when the puck already had walked away, right? It's all the small things matter so much. And that's a super early tower for the Gyro. 8-minute tower. This Gyro's mega fat. He can even contest the enemy triangle stacks, maybe.
Imagine if they had some big triangle stacks as well, like triple ancients or something with a flat cannon for a Gyro that's already got the the Falcon blade and treads in his inventory. That would have been a lot of lost gold. They're only 3,000 gold behind, and even the most unreliable, but all the casters love it. The Gaben graphs are giving a 78% win probability for Tundra at 9 minutes.
Yeah, they're very far ahead. I think the Largo having this sort of game is kind of illegal. He's just super free farming, even contest the enemy small camp. Usually the Largo gets oppressed in lane, but just the way it's going here, he's super chilling. Second in net worth in the whole game.
And this is the first time that Heroic has to play from behind, coming out from the laning stage. So let's see how they will adjust into this game.
At 3-3 dodging the gank, really nice. Puck wasting more time. Walked all the way to top, got nothing. Pango very far away from Mate Slayer still, so Heroic's timings, they don't really have any timings coming up. A, I guess, is almost with level 6, so despite some feeding in the lane, he's still very close to level 6. So they're probably going to wait for that and then try to smoke with Coil. But the Heroic stacking camps, you see the Hoodwink stacking both these camps. It's probably the best he can do right now.
80 rune in the river, 33, he's gonna lick it. Can he grab it? Yes, he can. Takes it away from Tai Long. Wow, what a mechanic that he can lick the runes.
It's a funny mechanic, right?
It is.
He can lick the rune now.
Working as intended. Also, about builds, kind of looking at the Marcy quick buy. We got a Blink Marcy coming up this game, as they're going to be jumping on top of the Tiny. I think they're just starting to force the Ice Blast, but there we go. It's going to be coming down into the relocate. Whitemon's going to die for that dot. V-Tune is probably dead as well. They will lose their 2 heroes, but they killed the gank squad. The arriving relocate got hit by the Ice Blast, so perfectly read there by King Jungles not to use it too early, knowing there's a relo up. they could have been left empty-handed. Those were the first 2 kills for Heroic in this game, too.
And really well played by the AA there. A lot of inexperienced AAs, they would just immediately just use the ult with the tiny stun, but he's very aware of what's happening in the game. He knows that the IO wants to use reload. So really well played by King Jungles there, just being very patient. It won't save them this tower though, but at least they got the gyro kill, which was the highest net worth in the game. So a little bit...
Hashtag worth?
Yeah, I mean, better than nothing, right? Better than just dying and losing your tower. But very concerning game for Heroic now. Shaker smoke top with Blink. He's going to attack on this wave.
Blink reveal from BZM with the Echo Slam right on top of that Tiny. Ice Blast is there. Yuma's still standing his ground. The toss back as well, pulling White Bond under the tower. He's going to die to the tier 2. That took a while, but they are finding some responses. Good call from Tai Long. Getting the punishment on BZM. Nicely dodging the enchant Aftershock. And that should be enough damage. With the bottle charge coming in, it's not enough to save BZM. Tai Long with the response. 1-4-1. They will lose their carry. But for a Puck to get early kills, it is almost mandatory to get that Witchblade early.
Well played there from Tai Long. Use his spells really nicely there. Got a triple man coil. Was there when he was supposed to, right? A lot of times the timing is more important than anything else, right? He just has to be there when the Shaker presses his Echo. If he's there, then he can fight back. But if he's 10 seconds late, then nothing will come from that situation. So good read from him on the map. And I guess these couple last minutes weren't that bad for Heroic. They got some kills. Shaker died. Gyro died. Pango got some space to farm his Mate Slayer. So maybe they can take a fight soon. Pango still doesn't have his ulti skilled, so probably waiting for level 9 to skill it.
Maybe, yeah. It's got that one value point in Lucky Shot, so would make sense that he gets the Rolling Thunder next. Also, we are not getting to see the blink on Marcy. Ari opting to go for Force Staff BKB instead, so... Only... I looked at Protractor of some randoms picking up Marcy as a +4, and there are a couple blinks in there, but honestly, I've never played Marcy with a blink dagger. Unless I'm playing it like as a carry, you get a swift blink.
I mean, the blink helps you position yourself to be able to kill the supports. You can use your ult, blink on top of a Hoodwink or an AA, and you can insta-kill them. And then you can use your jump to exit the fight after. Because if you don't buy blink, and you jump in, it's like a one-way ticket, right? You're going in, committed. You ain't going out. So... I like the Force Staff more. I think Force Staff is very good versus A and Pango. You can kite out their spells really well, especially the Ice Blast. If you can just force someone out of a stun, right? Tiny stun someone, you Force Staff the guy so he doesn't get Ice Blast.
Yeah.
So it's a very nice counter.
They're going to get a coil to connect onto BZM. AA Blast is on its way. Tai Long doesn't get to dodge it, but doesn't matter. They got the job done. Whitemon relocated, and he's chasing alone. Going in deep for this Hoodwink. There's the Marcy showing up as well. The reload is going to take the IO and the Marcy away. They go back to the Fountain. So that's a good kill.
You can see what's happening in this game is the Puck is kind of just having free reign, right? He's kind of just moving around any way he wants to. And that kind of comes back to the fact that the only stun in the game is the Shaker. So if the Puck sees the Shaker, he basically cannot die. He is immortal. So the Puck becomes a really big problem for Tundra. Even though they're ahead, it's hard for them to really do something with the gold they have. So they're kind of just forced in a way where they have to keep farming. And then when they keep farming, they start getting picked off by this annoying Puck. So it's a hard balance of, so the Shaker be farming? Should he be alert to respond to the Puck? No, it's a balance of all these things. And right now, I think Tai Long, he's doing a really good job of just being really annoying in the game.
Yeah, we haven't seen a lot of that. Shaker farming the triangle, having these big ancient stacks, hard camp stacks, and just Echo Slam farming it. He's kind of felt like he needs to be a part of his... He needs to be involved with his team's moves.
Exactly. So like he's feeling like the pressure on Shaker that he needs to be there where the Puck is to stun him. And that just kind of cripples his farm, right? If you just look at his movement for the past 5 minutes, he's just not farming. He's the bottom core in the game, and he probably feels really pressured in this game. If he's dying to the puck, then nobody's controlling the puck. If he's not ready when the puck attacks, then nobody's controlling the puck. So that's why I didn't really like the Shaker pick that much. I think it's a lot of pressure on this hero being like the only stun.
KJ does the one thing that he's able to, is as soon as you realize there's an enemy, you press R twice and he's dead. So that's a kill for Ari. BZM links forward, finds Yuma, instant Echo Slam. Relocate is also coming in onto the backline. Mass TPs from Heroic. Can they respond in time? Ari gonna push BZM to safety. Yuma is blocked by the Fissure, and they're trying to keep him alive. Whisper's right there in the middle as well. Finally getting the Rolling Thunder out. We've been waiting for it all game long, and he is here for it now. Ari dies to Theolicor, and VTune is running away from that boulder. Whisper finally catches up to him, going for the TP attempt. Tylong is going to be there, but the damage is going to be sufficient. Heroic finding 3. Tiny lives. 33 being chased. Tylong does have another Witchblade available in just a couple seconds. Are they going to go all in with the chase? Looks like they'll let Largo go. But that's a 3. That's a 3 for 1. They killed KJ in the jungle first, and then those 3 kills next to that tier 2 tower. Tiny somehow lives.
And Tiny probably being the worst hero for them to have to run into. That Echo did like no damage to the Tiny there. I mean, they got a little bit excited that the A was dead, so they thought that they could go for this. Since no Ice Blast, the Io and the Gyro kind of feel invincible. But they kind of clumped up a little bit too much, and they're also just behind the tier 2 at 16 minutes, right? So they're just in a really poor position for them to fight. That just leads to them just kind of losing this fight. The puck, you see, he just goes in, and they just can't do anything about it. He just starts killing everybody.
Yep. They were really afraid to commit as well. They got a good Fissure block on the Tiny. They isolated the fight for a moment, but you can see from Tundra's heroes, they're just looking to reposition into a better position, into a better spot to maybe take that fight, or at least try to disengage. But as that replay played out, BZM was killed in the jungle. Whitemon drops to Yuma, and they're now targeting that bottom tier 1 tower. So Heroic are fully back in after being 4,000 gold behind in the entirety of the laning stage.
A nice comeback for Heroic. And again, this comeback is just it goes back to the draft for the puck being invincible, and these small little skirmishes, like, they matter a lot. This skirmish top, where Tiny doesn't die and they get a bunch of kills, it throws the gold lead down 2,000 gold. And then when the AA kills the Gyro for free, then it throws it down another 2,000 gold. Now, all these small things, they start adding up, and it makes for a comeback.
That being said, the highest levels as well in the game currently are Yuma and Tai Lung at 14, followed by all the other cores. So VTune, who might have been ahead in XP, BZM, who had a okay start to the game, they've been outshined. Tai Lung is still alongside 33, the 2 players who haven't died this game so far. Yuma initiation onto VTune, but it didn't seem to work out too well. As his BKB on V2, he's super deep right now, and he's committed. No target to hit, though. Yuma disappears into the void. Marcy dropping quite low. Heroic looking for the re-engage. Pick up the stun on V2. Caught by the pushback. The Theolicor knows he needs to control the gyro. BZM, Blink, Echo, not coming out. V2, dead. Smacked by a tree. And 33, this might be his first death, but again, running for it. The Theolicor with the pushback, no connection. Nope, he gets away again. But Heroic 3-0 the fight, and a creep wave just happens to be at the tier 2 tower.
And Tundra struggling with the control, right? They just can't really kill anybody. Caught. Nobody gets stunned.
Make it 4.
Nice job there from Yuma. He's been spot on about his rotations.
Now we're starting to see...
What's the next timing for Tundra? I feel like at this point, they're probably going to start waiting for some timings, because the Gyro BKB kind of flopped. And I wonder if they're going to itemize to stop this puck. Can they even itemize, right? Can even someone buy an Orchid? Can someone buy a Hex? I don't even think they have heroes to even buy these items.
That feels like that's such a long time until they get to those items, right?
Yeah, this puck pick is very good from Heroic.
Most of the time, if I see a lineup that lacks single target, like point target stuns, like Shadow Shaman, Lion, Heroes like that. It's screaming Ember Spirit or Puck. So getting that Puck in the second phase on the 18th was definitely a very strong pick from Heroic. And we can see now 405 Tai Lung, the 16-year-old prodigy from South America.
Yeah, ideally in drafts where you don't have stuns, you can ball together and the enemy can't really contest your ball. So that means that the gyro needs to be able just to exist and just destroy everything that's in front of him. But that's not really happening in this game, right? Since there's an A, so he can easily die on gyro. It kind of just destroys the Tundra ball, right? They can't really just super heal the gyro, so he's immortal because they have an A. The Largo doesn't really interact well with A, neither does the IO. So I really like the Heroics draft in this game. I feel like it gets even harder for Tundra the longer the game goes on. The more items Puck is going to have, like this Puck, he can just build all the aggressive items. If you just look at his inventory, he's not going to buy Yules, he's not going to buy BKB, he doesn't need any of these items. He's just going to buy all the aggressive items, and he's going to keep going on them.
He is here to torture you. Somehow Whisper is the one to get that kill after Tai Lung does all the hard work with his Parasma. And that could just be more control on the map applied. Tormentor was already picked up, so the Shard went for the AA. That's still like an S tier Shard. The cold feet coming out from the Ice Blast. Coil used. Tai Lung, it seems like he wants to do all the work, but can he do it all by himself? Blink ready. Ari pops his ulti, going for the chase here. Gets the Force Staff in, but now he's going to have to run out. It's a good attempt, but Tai Lung just a little bit too strong.
He's just toying with them. He just cannot die.
That could have maybe been a kill if he didn't have the Parasma getting the 7 armor.
It was close. And that was him kind of overplaying his hand, right, on Puck.
But we did talk about mid laners. You gotta have an ego. You need to be a bit over aggressive from time to time to really shine.
Heroic with total control over this enemy triangle. He was waiting for someone to walk up this cliff. Nobody coming. They will just go for the Roche. Again, Pango super good at killing the Roche with his passive. Physical damage is very good against Roshan. There's gonna click down this Roche. Also A, very good at killing the Roche because of the W. It does percentage increased magical damage. So all percentage based spells in Dota are very broken.
Balance in all things, as almost 24 minutes in. It's actually the slowest first Roshan kill of the series, but still going to be going into the hands of Heroic. BZN found once again. And I do have to say, that being the 6th death on this Earthshaker is only one of the big reasons why I said I've seen mixed results on the Shaker, because it can be a game like this. The other is having a party and you are not.
Puck casually just gets a kill at the tier 2 and they cannot contest him. It's starting to crumble, right? They're just dying everywhere on the map and they don't really have any kill potential. Oh, even
and another
Gyro
one.
dies.
And another one.
I missed that one.
Yes. That's 4 kills in 4 separate areas on the map.
Yeah, I mean, Shaker, he's struggling way too much in this game. There's just way too much pressure on him to actually fix too many problems that Tundra's draft has. The AA pick actually broke their game plan so much. Kudos to Cafs. I think he did a really good job in this game with the draft.
Great adjustment.
And I personally don't really see a way back for Tundra in this game. I don't see any timing where, wow, now the Puck needs to be afraid. Well, Shaker already has Blink, so does Puck have to ever be afraid? If he's not dying now, is he going to die when Shaker gets A on this? Probably not, right? It's more with the gameplay.
If we could fast forward the amount of gold on all heroes for the next, let's say, 20, 25 minutes, then maybe. I think like you have to go to like almost ultra late game to have the items to properly control what Heroic has. Yuma going quite deep here. Tundra is forced back to the base. Everybody else except for the Shaker. BZM is still trying to farm an Aeon.
Almost got him there.
Coil into the fog? No. Would have been wild.
And Tiny's still looking. He's looking bottom. They have sentries down. Oh, he's gonna... Ooh, the Shaker. Oh, he blinked in.
Oh no, BCM. Yeah, he got away already. Has to use the Echo Slam to try to get out, but Yuma, he's in range for the Avalanche. It's going to be enough. Simultaneously, trying to spread around on the bottom lane was Whisper, but we know that BCM gets the blink off 10 HP, dodges the tree, but he's not going to dodge a King Jungle's landing on top of him. At least they know about the vision in the triangle, but they probably suspected it's there anyway. This is not really going Tundra's way, but Heroic are... they're making every single moment count, and this net worth lead continues to grow. Remember, the gaming graphs gave a 78% win chance for Tundra, which is now a 70% win rate for Heroic. Outturn the tables.
And that's after Tundra having a stellar laning phase, right? Imagine if the laning phase went towards Heroic. I feel like this game would just be over in 15 minutes. Tiny finishes his Harpoon. Again, an item that has been buffed. You see right there, him using the Harpoon defensively to reposition himself. So a nice little addition for that item. That's why it's being picked up again.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I feel like is that a good... what was it called? Like good game design? Being able to harpoon trees? I think, I mean, I think in a way it is, but it feels a bit silly. Feels like it's a go-to now for everyone. It's for melee heroes, sure. It doesn't really work on range heroes the same way. Meanwhile, an IO dies on the other side of the map. Didn't get the shrine. It was a good attempt.
Yeah, I think it's nice. At least somebody buys the item now, right? Because the item was kind of dead before this.
True. I guess you need to make some hard turns.
It's kind of fun. You can jump around. And the range is pretty high, too.
Still coming back to that one patch where all forced movement items were OP, so they had to drop the distance on Force Staff and the cast range on Force Staff. They increased the price of the item, and then we got the Tumbler toy.
Oh yeah, that one was also nerfed.
That was also nerfed, yeah. No, enjoy.
I like the casual Chasm Stone on a lot of heroes. I know that KJ, he bought it in the Dawn game. He bought it also in this game on A. You kind of don't upgrade it, you just keep it.
But as it is, trying to save himself with that Glimmer Cape ain't gonna be any good, but there's a coil up to 2, and has Gyrocopter locked in for now. BZM is also being pushed away from the fight between Pups' Speed KB. Surrounded by 3, and now a 4th hero as Whisper shows up. Rolling right behind the Gyro. So still on cooldown. He's on a cliffside on the high ground. Yuma can't get to hit the Gyrocopter. Has to run away. BZM has been killed by the puck simultaneously, as they're going to lock in on Largo this time around. Tai Lung with Yuma. 33, still standing his ground, running away. Pops his BKB now, but not in harm's way for the time being. He should be able to teleport home. As Ari, it's not going to be as fortunate. BZM, he bought back, hoping he'd get in range for the Echo Slam, but no such luck. And Tai Lung actually spots him. Knows he's got a blink on cooldown. He can't be this deep unless he's been blinking forward already. He just needs 2 more seconds. The Aeon Disc, oh, because of the Aeon Disc popping there, that means that PZM's taking no damage. He blinks out.
And after that buyback Shaker, he's almost lower than the A on net worth. It's a rough one for him. There's like no coming back really in this game. Tundra probably relying just on Heroic making a crazy mistake and them coming back, because they can't really farm their way back into this game. They see the tiny top with no BKB. They know he used it in the last fight, so maybe this is the start of the comeback. they can get a kill here on Tiny.
If any team,
shows himself.
Tundra is a team to do it. Fortunately, they feel like they're running out of time on the chase. That previous tier 2 dive didn't go as well, so they let this one go.
A good read there by
But
Yuma.
good read.
Well, yeah, a lot of the carries, they would have just farmed that camp and they would have died. But Yuma looking at the minimap, seeing that they're not farming bottom, not farming mid, where can they be? They are ganking me. So, waits until he has BKB. And then Heroic can probably just group his 5, and it's very hard for them to lose a fight.
Dire's top
We still don't have queued up any of those luxury items on the side of Tundra we were talking about. They still need to finish quite a lot of core items before they get to that stage. But it's looking a bit different on the other side. They've got a Hex coming up for Theolicor and the Hoodwink. It feels a bit overkill when you're this far ahead to have a Hex against your opponent. It's a great item. It does feel a bit overkill. I guess
And
that's
this
what
Pango-
Heroic needs to finish those games.
Yeah, they're probably going to play it safe and just wait for the next Rosh. And then give Tiny the Aegis and then go high ground with the banner, right? Because then with the banner, you can guaranteed get a decent push. It's kind of annoying to push the Shaker with Fissure and Shard, and he's going to keep nuking the wave. With the banner, it makes it more reliable. You can get the racks. And Heroics, they're not really in a hurry, right? They can just keep farming. Really hard for Tundra to actually make a move, especially when Puck has Aeon Disc, so you can always get out of that initial stun from the Shaker and reveal the enemy's position. So they're sitting comfortably, just cruising through the game, not in a rush. Puck gonna finish his Octarine, gonna become even more obnoxious.
Not to even
And almost
mention
a Tanic
that
on Tiny.
3 of the heroic heroes, the 3 cores, are already over level 20. So they got their 20 talents, and Tundra doesn't have a single one yet. Largo would be the closest to that. So that's 60 extra damage for Tiny. That's a lowered cooldown on Puck's W, lowered cooldown on the shield crash. Very handy to have in this stage of the game.
And if you check 3-3 score, he's actually 3-0-4. He doesn't have a single death yet, so he's been playing really well. Even last game too, I doubted the Largo. I thought that this hero was kind of dead. But just seeing him play and the creativity from his builds, he's not buying the same items every game.
Yeah, and to
Definitely
emphasize,
learning a lot from just watching him play.
And to emphasize, you were a Largo doubter, you were not a 33 doubter.
That's true. Even buying a Blink Dagger, not most Largos don't really buy Blink.
Yeah.
But I like it. It helps you position yourself better in the fights.
You must spot at Ari, but he's going to miss the avalanche. Does he still find him for the toss? And that can happen. You know, you can now harpoon trees instead of your opponent.
And you see Tundra, they're all just grouped in their triangle for the past like 5 minutes, right? They don't really have anywhere else to go. Wherever they go past this triangle, the puck is going to break them, and the fight is coming.
Oh, he's got eyes on all of them. He's got very good vision for the team as Whisper's coming in, and IO is the one locked in. White Mon is dead. 33. Hit by Tylong. He will not use the coil in a hasty fashion. They'll get the pick and get themselves out, deward the triangle. That should be enough for Roshan control, but Rosh is moving away in 5 seconds, so they're going to have to wait with that Roshan for an extra half a minute. Tundra already going towards the bottom half of the map because of it, but Yuma, he reads it. Oh, he saw BZM just like next to him. Oh no, that is so unfortunate for BZM. He had no idea. Yuma says thank you. 70 seconds, that's a dieback on the Shaker. Now there's a coil spent. They spot the gyro, break it as well with a hurricane pike, tossing all the way down to the low ground. And Tylong is being a pesky puck. Just annoying the hell out of this this gyrocopter. D2 TP's out as Ari shows up, and White Mon just respawned just to relocate to die again. That's a godlike spree for Yuma.
It just seems like
no BKB, he's vulnerable now. But it's just Whisper. Does he have the damage to kill him? Olikor loading up that sharpshooter. Yep, it's enough.
It's just kind of rough for Tundra to actually do something. As you see there in the fight, the puck just goes in and they don't have any answers, right? They can't stop him. They can't really hide from his damage. The puck is just way too much of a problem for them in this game. And of course, Tai Lung playing super well. 0 deaths. Not that really he was in any danger of dying in this game, but executing it, right? The 18 puck, and he's playing super well. So that's what you want to see from your mid player.
All 27,000, 28,000 gold ahead, 27 kills at 36 minutes. Some solid numbers here for Heroic. Tai Lung also playing a clean puck. Hasn't been killed, just like 33 on that Largo. It could be a disappointing game for him to, you lose a game where you haven't died at all. You know you gave it your all.
It happens. The score doesn't mean everything in the end. And last fight coming, Tundra smoking.
KJ, he was out of position, but he blinks away. 33 instant BKB. Spots Yuma. Just give him a quick lick, that's all. Tai Lung hits the backline with the coil onto the IO. Wipe on, gets slapped down by the sharpshooter. And this could be death number 1 for 33 if they fully focus on him. Let's see if they do. Meanwhile, Whisper takes down Ari, and 33, well, now you can forget about the scoreline. Everyone has died at least once on the side of Tundra, and it feels like they are all going to die again. V-Tune is the only one to make it out, survives, goes back to base. Heroic can finally take that Roche and bring that banner to the high ground.
Nice execution there by the Heroic. They just walk out of the pit, wait for Tundra to show their heroes, play their cards. As soon as Largo presses BKB, they can just kite it. And you never really saw Shaker use his Echo there in the fight, right? He didn't really find a good target. He can't really just echo the puck with Aeon Disc. If he just echoes puck, the fight's over. So he's being really patient on Shaker, and it's just a hard game for him. Can't really blame him too much.
V-Tune's found. KJ walked into him with a Glimmer Cape, so then unlucky for him. He pops his BKB, but it will do no good for him. His TP was already spent. Out for 70 seconds. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Whisper shows up to hit the backline of both the supports and BZM, preventing them from getting back to the fountain. Parks himself in front of the Shaker, takes him down, 1 for 50 seconds. 33, he did burn the buyback. But with, constantly one hero dead all the time, not really much to mount a defense, and Heroic are making short work of this. That will be the dieback on the Largo, gone for 105, and in the end, it is Heroic who will take this series 2-1. Despite the laning stage, this was the first time in the series Heroic was playing from behind, but this is also the time they also managed to take the win in the end. Tundra get a taste of their own medicine from Game 2.
Yeah, it was a